There's a sense of holiday spirit here in the Great White North as the Edmonton Riverhawks host the Yakima Valley Pippins for a series finale, a rubber match, and a chance for the Pippins to take a winning record here in Canada back home to the United States later tonight. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning to those of you still listening in the Pacific time zone for just a couple more minutes. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins, and welcome back to Remax Field for Game 3 of this three-game series with the Edmonton Riverhawks. Game 1 went to Edmonton. Game 2 last night going to Yakima Valley. 10-2 was the final score. The Pippins had 11 hits as well. They left 15 men on base, but that did not matter as the Riverhawks were shut out going into the ninth inning. Luke McGuire, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, no runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts on his night. What a start from McGuire. Easily the best start of the season for the Pippins. This is coming after Bodie Ramsey went 7 innings on Thursday against the Ridgefield Raptors. And so certainly a good help to the bullpen that has been a little bit beat up as we go throughout this road trip. This is game 6 of 6 during this long stint away from Yakima. And you're going to see quite a few different arms today. Sam Burgess is going to be making a start for the Pippins, his first one of the year, the arm from Cal Baptist. You've got everybody available except for most likely Shifu Hasegawa and Luke McGuire. And there's even rumors that possibly you might see Josh Mawhinney if he needs to come out. Only threw 35 pitches in that start on Friday. He's trying to rebound after only going a third of an inning. We'll see if the Pippins decide to keep him on regular rest or if he is asked to throw a couple of innings here today against these Edmonton Riverhawks. The Riverhawks coming into this game with a 5-8 record on the season, dropping the game last night to Yakima Valley. And then the Pippins coming in at 8-6 on the year. Certainly good to be 2 games above 500, still 2 games back in the WCL South standings, though, as the Ridgefield Raptors continue to just win. They're one of 2 teams that has made it to double-digit wins so far this year. The Wenatchee Apple Sox, the other one, and the Apple Sox have actually played one less game than the Ridgefield Raptors, so certainly impressive there. You look at this series and you look at how the Pippins responded yesterday. They've scored 10 runs in back-to-back days. It's just the first night you gave up 13 in the first 3 innings, makes it a little bit difficult to earn a win, even with the stellar offense the Pippins had in the back half of that game. But last night, Luis Garcia 4 for 5. The bat's certainly getting hot. Daichi Furuhata, a triple, a double. He had 2 RBI. He scored twice. He has 22 runs that he has scored for this team in just 14 games. That is a number as impressive as I think any number these Pippins hitters have. Of course, you can't count out Parker Burt, who leads the league in batting average still with a 463 clip. Nick Velasquez, 289, but he is up at the top of the team as well with 12 RBIs because of a couple of sacrificed flies that he has had in this series. The Pippins with runners in scoring position batting nearly 300. So if you can get guys on, then you're going to be able to bring them home. And to get guys on, even though the Pippins had 11 hits yesterday and 12 hits the day before, they've also been walked a ton in this series. Just last night, the Riverhawks pitchers had 11 walks, 5 hit batters. They also had 4 wild pitches. And so the Pippins across these 2 series, or these 2 games in this series, have only had 25 free base runners. That's a ridiculous number. 25 free base runners, 18 innings between walks and hit by pitches. That is a number that the Riverhawks are going to have to fix as they go throughout this season. The Pippins are going to be looking to continue to do what they did the last 2 days, get hits, get walked, bring them home. The Pippins had nearly everybody on base last night. There were only 2 that did not score runs, but Nick Velasquez and Parker Burt both had sacrifice flies. And so everybody contributed in last night's win. And it should be another good game here in Edmonton, an early afternoon game here in the province of Alberta. 44% of Yakima Valley's 97 runs scored with 2 outs, so be ready for that. It's nice to have this early afternoon game because the Pippins have a later evening flight today to catch down at Edmonton International. And so if we can get this game moving fairly quickly, then you're going to be able to at least go grab some food, maybe walk around a few places before we head down to the airport and get checked in and get on the flight back to Vancouver. And then we'll be bussed back from Vancouver across the border and back all the way to Yakima late tonight, early tomorrow morning. The nice part is you gain an hour back going into the Pacific time zone. So positives and negatives. Going to be another long day of travel tonight, but hopefully the Pippins able to take a series win as we go throughout this game that we're getting ready for in the next couple minutes or so. Batting practice was set up just a little bit late. They're still doing all of their pregame festivities, which looks to involve a lot of people down on the field. Today is kind of a combo promotional day for Edmonton. They've got wagging or barking bleachers, so they've got dogs in the ballpark, and then it is a Christmas in June theme night because they're doing a uh, gift. What is it? A gift drive that they're going to then give to the kids of the community for Santa's Anonymous. So kind of a Christmas theme, and then of course Bark in the Park Sunday should be a good atmosphere again. The crowd filling up just like it did the last couple of nights. Last night there were 6,674 fans in attendance. So it was definitely a bigger crowd than the night before with only 4,500 in the bleachers. But the attendance of this series combined is probably going to add up to most of the Pippins road games that they've been to, the other 6 spots. And it's certainly a daunting place to play here at Remax Field. Pippin's going to try to take a series and win up here in Edmonton for the second time. They are 1-1 in the province of Alberta all time on this first trip to Edmonton in franchise history. Ceremonial first pitch about to be delivered by a young boy out on the mound. And later on, we'll have baseball. So who's going to be playing today? Well, let's meet the starting lineup for both of these squads. First for the Edmonton Riverhawks, sitting at 5-8 under the direction of Jake Lanferman, the head coach for the Riverhawks. Leading off and playing center field will be number 2, Drew Veach, back in the lineup today after an off day yesterday. Cole Kreisel is back in the 2-hole. He's playing shortstop. He is batting second, wearing number 10. Finnegan Stewart is the right fielder. He wears number 57. He will bat third. Easton Andrews, again in the cleanup spot, one of the other leaders in the West Coast League in both batting average, RBIs, and hits. He is playing first base today. He is wearing number 51 out of the 4-hole. Kotaro Wakui is the designated hitter today, getting a break in the field. He wears number 31. He will bat fifth. Matt Van Slyke is the third baseman. He wears number 25. He will bat sixth. The catcher for all 3 games in this series will be Jason Green. He is wearing number 32. He will bat seventh. Batting eighth is the second baseman Shiryu Sato. He wears number 1. And batting ninth is Cale Clark, the left fielder. He wears number 24. So again for Edmonton, Veach, Kreisel, Stewart, Andrews, Wakui, Van Slyke, Green, Sato, and Clark. Their starting pitcher today will be Alan Gonzalez, who will be making his second start of the season. He will face the Pippins order when we get to the game. What is the Pippins order? Well, it leads off with Tyson Miller today, playing left field, wearing number 3. He's back at the top of the order again after a couple of bunt singles last night. Daichi Furuhata, one of the hottest hitters for the Pippins, playing third today, wearing number 26. Nick Velasquez moves from second to first today. He bats third. He wears number 17. Parker Burt, the designated hitter today, he will look to continue his hot start. He wears number 25. He will bat cleanup. Luis Garcia will bat after Jay O'Neill. Got ahead of myself. Batting fifth, Jay O'Neill. He wears number 7. He will play center field. Luis Garcia batting sixth. He wears number 15. He's playing right field. He's coming off of a 4-for-5 day yesterday with 3 singles and a double. Abel Ramos is back in the lineup, and during batting practice, he looked really good. So hopefully he's able to build on a good start and get back to his positive self. Just didn't quite look the way he normally did during his start on Friday night. Batting eighth will be the second baseman, Ramon Valenzuela, getting a chance in the field today, wearing number 10. And batting ninth is the second leadoff hitter, Cole Hubka. He is the shortstop. He will wear number 6. So again for the Pippins, Miller, Furahada Velasquez, Bert O'Neill Garcia, Ramos Valenzuela, and Hubka. Starting pitcher today for Yakima Valley will be Sam Burgess, making his first start from Cal Baptist University. Lancers had a good season. Burgess will try to carry that success over to the Pippins as Yakima Valley looks to pick up win number 9 today. 8-6, 2 games back of the Ridgefield Raptors in first place in the West Coast League South. The standings for both sides: Ridgefield at 10-4, they sit in first in the South. Corvallis sits in second at 8-5. Pippins and Sweets tied for third, both teams at 8-6. Portland 6-5, they are sitting fifth. Marion 6-7, they sit sixth. Bend at 4-7, got off their losing streak last night, and Springfield 4-10, they are bottom of the South. In the North, Wenatchee 10-3 leads the way. Bellingham 8-6. Kamloops and Nanaimo 7-7. Kelowna 6-8. Victoria 6-8. Edmonton sitting in 7th place right now at 5-8. And Port Angeles, the Lefties, sitting at 4-10 on the season. They and Springfield garner the worst record in the West Coast League currently. The other games scheduled for today, we're going to have a wide variety of when teams start and when teams finish. You're, of course, going to have the Pippins and the Riverhawks getting this game underway about a half hour earlier than anybody. Walla Walla is also traveling back across the border today. They are up in Kamloops, so their game is also about to begin. That game going to be a rubber match, I believe, between the Sweets and the North Paws. I know that Kamloops won last night. Springfield at Victoria, so another South team going to have to travel across the border today. They are also slated for a 1:05 p.m. Pacific time start. Wenatchee at Nanaimo, a fourth U.S. team going to be crossing back later this afternoon. The Apple Sox at the Night Owls, that game scheduled for 1:05 Pacific time as well. Portland at Bellingham, going to be a 1:35 Pacific start time in Bellingham. Joe Martin Field, Portland and Bellingham, a couple of perennial powerhouses in the West Coast League, squaring off. And then later on this evening, 5:05 p.m. down in Salem, the Ridgefield Raptors and the Marion Berries will square off. 5:05 as well down in Bend, the Knights and the Bend Elks in a rubber match. And then the last game of the day, 6:05 p.m., Port Angeles visiting Kelowna. That game again at 6:05 p.m. A lot yet to be decided here in this season. This is game 15 for the Yakima Valley Pippins, if you can believe that. As it is currently 1:05, we have not done starters or national anthem yet. Nice part for Yakima Valley, even though it is getaway day, I believe the flight isn't until about 9 o'clock tonight. So we've got some wiggle room just in case the game decides to go long or we have situations like this where we're not getting started right on time. So for Sam Burgess and crew and then the rest of the Pips, we're going to have a little bit of a later start, extended pregame coverage here as we get ready for Riverhawks and Pippins Game 3. It's been a great trip here to Canada. Again, getting in really, really late, early, however you want to say it. We left Ridgefield at 2 a.m. on Friday. We got across the border just before 7 o'clock, and we got into the airport on the plane at 11:15 Pacific time, lost an hour, got into Edmonton at about 3 o'clock on Friday, played a game at 7 o'clock that night. The hotel was great. The accommodations were great. The food has been great. I'm really looking forward to having one or two more rounds of Tim Hortons or A&W before we leave. Gonna go grab some food between now and our flight, and we'll get to the airport and head back home. It's a relatively short trip because your Friday is spent mostly traveling. Your Saturday, you get all day to kind of relax and then play. And then Sunday, of course, being a 1:05 start, it is a lot harder to see places during the morning because obviously you have to get ready for a game. The Pippins showed up to the field at 10 o'clock. We've been here for about 3 hours now getting ready to play this game. So we love the 1:05 start. Love the fact we're going to get home relatively early Monday morning versus very late in the afternoon Monday and then have to play a game the next day. So glad that we have the 1 o'clock start. Been a great trip to Canada. Always going to remember this. This is my first time being up here north of the border. One more time that we're going to hear the U.S. national anthem before the country of origin Canada's national anthem. really looking forward to the trip home. Looking forward to sleeping in Yakima early tomorrow morning. But certainly a great trip, and Pippin's hopefully going to cap it off with a win. We're going to turn the crowd mic up. We're going to send it down to the field for the presentation of the national anthems.
With glory, mercy, was the truth strong and free.
That is beautiful. Both national anthems in the books. Let's get ready for baseball here at Remax Field. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. So glad that you're joining us here on a Sunday afternoon. Pippins and Riverhawks, game 3 of this 3-game set north of the border. It's a rubber match. Winner takes the series. Yakima Valley looking for its 4th series win of the season. Pippins will send up Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez first in the top of the first inning, and they'll be facing Alan Gonzalez, the right-hander who has worked in now 4 games this year, making his second start of the season. Alan Gonzalez, 6'3", 210 from the University of Hawaii, Rainbow Warriors. Incoming sophomore, 6 2/3 innings pitched so far this year. 5 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 6 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So we'll see if Yakima Valley is able to take advantage of the high walk to strikeout, the 1-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio with Gonzalez. The leather behind him, Clark in left, Veach in center, Stewart in right. Third to first, it's Van Slyke, Kreisel, Sato, and Andrews. Behind the dish is Jason Green catching for Alan Gonzalez. Riverhawks today wearing their white uniforms with dark blue pinstripes. They've got Hawks in script across the chest. Dark blue numerals, dark blue Hawks, dark blue caps with baby blue bills, and some navy accents to go along with the white and navy pinstripes. Canadian flag square on the back where the shirt meets the neck. Yakima Valley coming out in their baby blue tops today, white Pippins and block lettering, and a stick with a green Pippin apple hanging down on the left side of the uniform. White numerals, gray pants. They're going to wear the blue lids on the field, green helmets in the batter's box. Umpiring crew today, MJ Willis, the lady behind the Dish calling balls and strikes. Brandon Strokey is the third base umpire today. He was behind the dish last night. Scott Eckhart is the first base umpire, the former 2025 All-Star umpire over there at first base today. Throw goes down to second. Let's play ball, says MJ Willis. Tyson Miller strolls to the plate. Just a few minutes late here in Edmonton. Pippins with a flight to catch at about 9:30 tonight. Should have plenty of time to get this game in before that happens. Miller digs into that left-hand batter's box wearing the yellow batting gloves, the yellow shoes. Large crowd on hand on a Sunday afternoon in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. First pitch of the contest, wind and fire. It's downstairs by Gonzalez, ball one at 1:13 p.m. local time. Temperature here in Edmonton sitting at 23 degrees Celsius. 1-0. Miller takes inside, another 88-mile-an-hour heater. For those of you that would like it translated to Fahrenheit, that means we're sitting at about 74 degrees. 2-0 on the ground out towards second base. Sato ranging, firing on to first. The ball picked out of the ground by Andrews. Sato knew he had to hurry, but Andrews helps him out. One up, one down. Miller out on a ground out. Clear skies, a few puffy clouds out beyond the left field wall. This field sitting towards the southwestern orientation. Hybrid, turf infield, turf foul territory, natural grass outfield with a rock warning track. A slight breeze blowing straight in from center field. Daichi Furuhata standing in. The first pitch he sees is a ball down and away. Just shy of 90 on the radar gun. Furuhata, 1-0. A fastball again outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Daichi last night 2 for 4, a double, a triple, 2 RBI. He also walked twice, grounded out, and grounded into a double play. Furuhata batting .404 on this 15-game season. 2-1 in there at the top of the zone, called a strike by MJ Willis. So 2-1. Daichi skies it out to center field. Ranging in Veach, coming in a few more steps, makes a catch. 2 up, 2 down. Pippins did not score until the 5th inning in in the second contest. They scored 3 in the first inning of the first game, but then were held scoreless until the 5th inning of game number 2. Nick Velasquez digging in. Velasquez batting .289, takes the first pitch down and away for ball 1. Nick getting on base at a .382 clip. Standing clear over on the first base side of the rubber, Gonzalez winds and fires the 1-0 outside, 2 balls, no strikes. He's fallen behind in all 3 plate appearances, but has 2 outs to show for it so far. It's a interesting wind for Gonzalez. He stands square to the plate, puts the glove up, then the ball. Rocks and fires, 2-0, missing outside with the fastball, 3 balls and no strikes. So Nick likely going to be taking all the way here. Parker Burt waiting in the on-deck circle. 3-0. He is taking all the way, and a called strike behind the dish. Velasquez last night, 0 for 4, but he had a sacrifice fly, so give him an RBI. 3-1. Velasquez takes high and away, ball 4. 2-out base runner for Yakima Valley. And here comes Parker Burt. Burt, the league leader in batting average still. hitting on the season .463. Parker going to look to add on to that, as out of the stretch for the first time is Gonzalez. Set at the belt. First offering. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. So ball 1 has been thrown in all 4 counts so far. There's 2 away and a man at first with a walk. That's Nick Velasquez. Just getting underway here in Remax Field, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Gonzalez. There goes Nick. Pitch is a strike on the inner half. The throw is wide of the second base bag. Nick in with a stolen base. The throw from Green almost sailed into right field, but the shortstop Kreisel able to go stab it. Pippins have a man in scoring position, 2 away. I believe it's a 1-1 count. Scoreboard says 1-2. We've only had 2 pitches here to Parker. The pitch down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike, I believe. Yes, MJ Willis confirms my hypothesis. So Parker ahead in the count, 2-1. Got Velasquez now at second base. Slight infield shift for the pull side for Parker on the left. 2-1, he fouls it straight back. He got a breaking ball at the top of the zone and was just underneath it. Well, how about that? Some live organ music here at Remax Field. I saw it sitting there. I just didn't know if we'd end up having it at all. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man at second, Nick Velasquez. Gonzalez looks back there. Now it comes into Parker Bird as he stings it off the end of the bat over towards the canopy. Top row becomes a souvenir. Count remains 2-2. That ball almost took a crazy ricochet off the top canopy that protects the sunshade. Still 2-2. Gonzalez comes set at the belt with 3 steps. Velasquez out at second. A look sends him back 2 steps. The 2-2 pitch bounces in. Velasquez stays put. The count runs full. Parker Burt. He'll draw his walks as well. Almost got himself into trouble yesterday with a walk that he spiked his bat on, like he normally does. The quirkiness of Parker Burt. Opposing pitcher took exception to it, and both teams were issued formal warnings. Payoff pitch to Parker. Right off the bat to Sato on a line at second. Parker stung it hard, but right into the glove of Shiryutu Sako. 1 man left on base, no runs, no hits, no errors. Pippins failed to score in the opening frame. Riverhawks come up next, and we'll see the first look at Sam Burgess. This is Pippins Baseball.
That's amazing. Thank you so very much. Performance. Thank you, John.
Welcome back to Remax Field. The bottom of the first inning. Drew Veach, Cole Kreisel, and Finnegan Stewart will hit first, facing Sam Burgess, making his first start for the Yakima Valley Pippins. Big, tall lefty from Cal Baptist University, native of Riverside, California. This last season with the Lancers, had a 7.15 ERA, 1-0 record. He pitched in 11 games, making 2 starts. He only went 11 1/3 innings, though, so used primarily as a 1-inning guy. 13 hits, 9 runs, all of them earned. 4 walks to 15 strikeouts is a good ratio. Batting average against him at CBU was .283. His first season with the Lancers was in 2025. He had a .422 ERA through 11 games, and the strikeout to walk ratio was 8-1. So certainly good stuff in the left arm of Sam Burgess. We'll see how he does today, making his first start in that Pippins uniform. Defense behind him, Miller, O'Neill, Garcia, left to right in the outfield. Furahada, Hubka, Valenzuela, and Velasquez, third to first on the infield. Abel Ramos catching for Sam Burgess. Drew Veach, the center fielder, the first man that Burgess will face. Out of the full windup, the first pitch for Burgess is a bunt up the first base line. Indecision for Velasquez over there at first. He charged in, thought he was going to have it. Nobody was covering the bag. It's an infield single for Drew Veach. One pitch, one base runner. The cheer you heard was not because Veach reached first base. It's because today the Riverhawks are featuring a bat dog. It's barking bleachers. They've got dogs in the park, and somebody's got a dog that's trained to go retrieve baseball bats. I believe his name is Iceman. Another bunt shown. Ramos unable to catch a pitch that's high and away. It's 1-0. So Burgess immediately goes to the stretch. Standing clear over on the third base side of the rubber. Daichi Furuhata is pinched in, trying to play against a bunt with the left-hander Cole Kreisel in the batter's box. Middle infield playing for a double play. No bunt shown this time. A strike on the outer half to Cole Kreisel to make it 1-1. Kreisel did not play yesterday, but on Friday night went 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored, drawing a walk. 1-1, high and outside. 2 balls and a strike. You've got Veach over at first with the infield hit, thanks to a bunt single. About a 1.5 step lead, still shuffling his feet. Burgess looks that way. 2-1. There's a strike on the outer half, 2-2. Kreisel didn't seem to agree. He's standing indignantly outside the batter's box. Digs back in and faces a 2-2 count from Sam Burgess. Pippins' bullpen has many arms today, but you'd love to see Burgess get through at least 4 here. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half of the plate. All 3 strikes on that part of the home plate diamond. 1 away. Finnegan Stewart, the hitter for the Riverhawks. Stewart playing right field today. He wears number 57. Still over at first, Drew Veach. Half jump and a half-hearted swing and a miss on the first pitch to Finnegan Stewart. Fastball blown by him at 89. Veach trying to play some mind games with Burgess. Left-handed pitcher able to look right at first base when he's coming set. Pippins middle infield hoping for a double play ball. Runner takes off. The pitch is downstairs. Ramos bobbles it. So a stolen base for Drew Veach, and now Ramos will go have a talk with Burgess. Must have gotten crossed up on something. Pippins burn a early visit. Ramos back into the crouch behind the dish. 1 ball and 1 strike. Man at second. The infield plays Finnegan Stewart to pull on the ground. A look back to second by Burgess. The 1-1. Left upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. The shift is Furuhata playing just about on top of the bag. You've got Hubka deep in the hole at short. Valenzuela, helping hold on the runner at second. 2-1. Breaking ball, high and away, 3 balls and a strike. Stewart in a very hitter-friendly count. You've got Easton Andrews due up next. Three balls and a strike. The look back to second. Here it comes. It's sent foul down the right field line and out of play. So the count runs full. 1 away. Burgess trying to find a put-away pitch here. Has 1 strikeout already. He allowed a bunt single, and a man now stands at second after a stolen base. That's Drew Veach. Look back to second. Here comes the payoff. Swing and a miss at the top of the strike zone. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sam Burgess. The Bat Dog Iceman over by the third base on deck circle, rolling around in the turf. He hasn't had to work since Drew Veach got the hit to start the game. Here's Easton Andrews, the first baseman. Lefty-lefty matchup here with Burgess. Andrews has been held relatively quiet in this series, 1 for 3 yesterday, and he was 0 for 1 on Friday, but he drew 4 walks. First pitch, change up, strike 1. Bottom corner of the zone to Easton Andrews. Andrews a dangerous bat, but definitely a pull side hitter. Valenzuela playing in the outfield grass at second. You've got Hubka standing at the base trying to hold on the runner. Velasquez guarding the line at first. Daichi all alone on the left side. Breaking ball down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pippins also have the outfield playing for a major pull in the air. Miller playing a few steps to his left. O'Neill in left center field, right center field rather. Garcia playing down the line. Runner takes off for third. The ball's on the ground out to second. Valenzuela comes in onto the turf, throws onto first, and the side is retired. Easton Andrews does exactly what the Pippins thought he was going to do as he grounds out to the right side of the diamond. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 Riverhawk left on the base pads. An inning in the books. We go to the second, no score here in Remax Field. Welcome back to Remax Field. Top of the second inning. Pippins have Jay O'Neill, Luis Garcia, and Abel Ramos, number 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. Feel bad for these Riverhawks fans. They've picked 3 Pippins that don't really strike out that often to be their weenie of the game. They just did it in between innings, and they picked Luis Garcia. This is why you shouldn't leave it up to a random wheel of chance. Garcia was 4 for 5 last night, looking to build on that as he comes up second in this inning. Luis going to try to avoid giving these Riverhawks fans some free hot dogs. So far, only 1 time have they gotten it. Daichi Furuhato is picked. Even on his 3 for 5 night, he struck out in the 8th inning on Friday. We'll see what happens here in the top of the second frame. No score here in Edmonton. Jay O'Neill leading it off and in the left-hand batter's box. O'Neill's been bouncing around the top 5 in the order. He was leadoff. Now he's down to the 5 spot. First pitch from Gonzalez is well outside, ball 1, uncompetitive pitch. 20 pitches now for the right-hander. Only 6 2/3 innings coming into this game, so likely going to be a short start and then on to the bullpen. 1-0, O'Neill fouls this out of the glove of Green. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez with that 6.75 ERA as well. Has worked 2 games out of the bullpen. 1-1, another foul ball straight back by Jay. So you hope that means that the Pippins are going to get into the bullpen for the Riverhawks sooner than later. The bullpen has not held up quite as well as Jake Lanferman would like. 1-2, Jake takes way upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last night, they had 4 guys come out of the bullpen, giving up a combined 5 runs to the Pippins. 2-2. O'Neill takes down and away. That's ball 3. Pippins would like a leadoff walk. Would be the second time in this game so far. Remember, 25 free passes the first 2 days for the Riverhawks to Pippins hitters. Payoff. Jay comes out of his shoes swinging at the top of the zone. Might have been ball 4. Instead, it's strikeout number 1 for Alan Gonzalez. Here's Luis Garcia, the right fielder. Luis, I mentioned it just a few minutes ago. 4 for 5 last night. An RBI single, a big double. He scored a run. He was hit by a pitch in the 9th inning. Garcia with a lot of hard contact. First pitch, taking a strike over the heart of the plate. We'll see if Luis can carry over the hot bat into tonight. I asked him last night in the postgame interview if he was feeling good because the Knicks won the NBA Finals. 2-1, fouled away. It's 0-2. He said, of course, he's a New York native. He always had Knicks in 5. Crowd here really hoping for their hot dogs. See if Luis can deny them the chance. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. There you go, Remax Field. Enjoy your hot dogs on behalf of Luis Garcia. 2 outs, Abel Ramos, the catcher. Out of the full windup, Alan Gonzalez sends the first pitch in and fouled straight back by Ramos. Ball bounces so far, it's out into the field of play. The ball boy was indecisive as to whether or not he was allowed to go out there. Yes, you are, son. You've got a helmet on. Coach Panch was about to go grab that ball. He's talking with the dugout about it, saying, man, they made me run a little bit. 0-1, a pop-up into shallow center field. Veach coming in, fighting the high sky, puts it away, and Gonzalez pitches a 1-2-3 second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on the base pads. We go to the second frame. No score here in Edmonton.
Really, finally. So
Dog races down on the field for the Edmonton Riverhawks. They had the preliminary running during pregame. And so the three finalists from both the Corgis and the Basset Hounds just ran it out on the field. Corgi named Wally took first prize. Pippins back out on defense for their second inning of play. 5, 6, and 7 in the Edmonton order. Katara Wakui, Matt Van Slyke, and Jason Green to face Sam Burgess. Both sides have left one man stranded. Pippins went down in order in the second. Let's see if Burgess can replicate that. Wakui from Niigata, Japan, has played in all 3 games in this series. Friday night went 2 for 4 with a triple, a single, and an RBI walk. He had 5 RBI to his name. Last night in the 2-hole went 0 for 3. Burgess sends his first pitch high and away, ball 1 to Wakui. Certainly a fan favorite. They yell his name probably 5 or 6 times every time he comes up to the plate. 1-0 strike on the outer half. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Wakui has played in the field 2 days, now just doing the hitting side. Burgess stares in, out of the windup, the 1-1. Fouled straight back. Wakui got a piece of it, went off the backstop. Here comes the ball boy again. Very bouncy backstop back there. It's the usual padding, but the nets must be strung a little bit tighter. 1-2 to Wakui. Burgess begins the motion, the 1-2 pitch. Down and away. Ramos able to slide and grab it. Another large crowd on hand, although the third base side is noticeably more empty than the first base side. 2-2. On the ground, out towards short, tailing away from Hubka. It's into left field for a base hit. That ball had some slice going from right to left. Hubka unable to get there. Leadoff single here in the second inning. Here comes Matt Van Slyke. Van Slyke from Whitby, Ontario, attends the University of British Columbia. Burgess back to the stretch. Gloves set at the letters. The first pitch dives inside, ball 1. Van Slyke last night, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 3 with a single. The night before, 0 for 1 with 2 runs scored thanks to 2 walks. 1-0, right below the knees of Van Slyke. 2 balls, no strikes. No score here in Edmonton. Bottom of the second frame. 2-0, fires a strike over the heart of the plate, does Sam Burgess. 2-1. It's good to see a couple of zeros on the scoreboard again today. It was a very hectic start to the game on Friday night. 2-1. On the ground, out towards Hubka again. He slides, sends it on to second for 1. The relay throw on to first. Double play. Hubka couldn't get the first one off the bat of Wakui. He gets 2 for the price of 1 off the bat of Van Slyke. Great response from the Pippins infield after one sneaked through. Now here's the catcher, Jason Green, with 2 away. Green, another dead red pull hitter. Pippins shift accordingly. First pitch out of the windup from Burgess. Up above the zone, 1 ball, no strikes. Pippins have now turned 13 double plays on the season, averaging just under 1 a game. 1-0, slowly on the ground, foul past the first base bag. Pippins dugout will bobble the ball a couple times. Garen Guler hearing it from Coach Panch. One and one. Burgess sends it into the lefty. Wave and a miss. He blew it right by him. 90 on the radar gun. Sam amped up a little bit. Oozing confidence out there on the hill after his defense turned a double play. Lefty-lefty matchup with Jason Green. The big tall catcher waits in the left-hand batter's box. The 1-2 outside. 91 on the gun for Burgess. Definitely amped up here early on in this contest. Feels the adrenaline of about 4,500 people staring down in a scoreless game. 2-2. Outside, Ramos tried to steal a strike. Went with a changeup at 81. Count runs full to the catcher Green. Shiryu Sato waits in the on-deck circle. Burgess winds. Here's the payoff pitch. Off the end of the bat, out towards very shallow center field. Jay O'Neill stumbles trying to get out there. Here comes Hubka ranging out, leaping and twisting, makes a catch. Hubka was the only one who had an opportunity to even find that baseball in the sky. He twirls around and makes the grab to give Sam Burgess a 1-2-3 frame. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no runners left on base after a double play and a stellar pop-up catch by Cole Hubka at short. To the third inning we go, scoreless here at Remax Field. Pippins and Riverhawks into the third inning we go. No score. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Glad you're with us as we're about 30 minutes into this contest. Pippins, a getaway day today as they will head down to the airport later this evening, fly out back to Vancouver, cross the border, and get back to Yakima to get ready for a Monday off day and a Tuesday game 1 of 3 against the Bend Elks, who are struggling right now. Bend at 4-7, currently tied 1-1 in the series with the Corvallis Knights. Wonder if my mom's listening. They just showed an Edmonton Riverhawks and Peanuts collaboration, has Snoopy on the shoulder. I don't know that I'll be able to find it, but just letting you know it exists out there. 8-9-1. Ramon Valenzuela, Cole Hubka back to the top. Tyson Miller due up here in the third inning. 30 pitches thrown by Gonzalez. He went 1-2-3 in the second. First pitch here to Valenzuela is foul at the dish. 0-1. Went chasing on an inside pitch and got it half-heartedly. So Ramon getting a start today. He pinch hit back on Friday night in Parker Burt's spot, drew a walk and scored a run in that 3-run frame. Pippins were down by as many as 10 in that game, ended up being a 4-run contest. 0-1. There's a strike that fell out of the bottom of the zone, 0-2. It was a breaking ball from Gonzalez. Valenzuela behind in the count, 0-2. The pitch from Gonzalez just got enough to stay alive. Count remains. Tell you what, they have some fun with the drone shot here at Edmonton. Always flying over the river or the bridges or all sorts of scenic places here. 0-2 again. Valenzuela takes downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got a history lesson on the ride over here. There's a newer bridge that we drive over to get to the ballpark. Scoreboard just went out. Pop fly high into right field. Stewart coming in, puts his glove up, makes the catch. 1 away. We got the scoreboard back too. But the bridge that we drive over, it's a white suspension bridge. Very, very new, according to our bus driver. And then there's a very old trestle type bridge about a 1/4 mile down the road that carries one-way traffic the opposite direction. Scoreboard goes out again, wave and a miss for strike 1. Count is no balls and a strike. Well, that's not good. Scoreboard's back. Hubka swings and misses, 0-2. So this trestle bridge is one of the last remaining from the 1800s, they said. It was, I think, 1880 was when it was built. Carries one-way traffic going southbound. 0-2, Hubka stings it off the end of the bat out towards right field, down for a base hit. Cole Hubka, bottom feeding into the top of the order, picks up the Pippins' first hit of the day. But it's a very historic bridge. They've been redistricting and redrawing how some of the roads flow into downtown Edmonton, though. And so some folks have been wanting to tear it down and build a newer one. But the folks here are also claiming that it's a pretty good tourist attraction because it has a tram that goes on the top. You've got cars on the bottom level. Tyson Miller takes a pitch high and away, ball 1. But there's a tram that gives you a very scenic view of the North Saskatchewan River and the Edmonton skyline. Throw over to first, not in time. And I've actually seen it go across the bridge a couple of times since we've been here. So I hope that the folks can suffer through the upkeep costs. That's the big reason why they want to tear it down and keep that historic bridge there. Another throw over to first. Back diving is Hubka. It's a pretty neat piece of history up here. And it basically flies right by the government building here of the province of Alberta. Hubka takes off. The pitch from Miller is lined out into left field, down for a hit. Hubka, running with the pitch, is now on his way to third. He's in standing. Tyson Miller picks up a single, back-to-back hits for Yakima Valley. Runners at the corners, only 1 away. Daichi Furuhata, a chance to drive home a run. Daichi today flew out to center field in the first inning. Here in the third, Pippins looking to grab a 1-0 lead. Hubka stands at third, Miller at first. We'll see if he's running. There he goes. First pitch. They're going to throw down to second, but Hubka not a good jump. Tyson is out as he slid off the bag. Tyson thought the throw was going to come back home, and so he wasn't quick to get back to the bag. Hubka still at third. Tyson, I believe you give him the stolen base, but then he's out. We'll see how it's officially ruled. So 2 away, Hubka at third, 0-1 pitch, on the ground, out towards third. Van Slyke up with it, throws across the diamond, stretched by Andrews is in time. Pippins squander a scoring chance as Daichi grounds out to third. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left on the base paths. Bottom of the third inning is next. No score between the Pippins and the Riverhawks.
Somebody stop throwing some paragraphs going to your walls. I asked a job exhibit on that purpose. Right. Huh. Good job, honey. And you will. There was something very virtual science and super exactly in their job. See, here's something experience a little bit plus. Particularly on stage into the science there. See, because we're going to generally speak on this clearly influence.
Welcome back to Edmonton, Remax Field, capital of the province of Alberta, here in Treaty 6 territory, on the banks of the North Saskatchewan River. Pippins and Riverhawks, no score yet. Bottom of the third inning, it's 8-9-1 for the Riverhawks. Shiryu Sato, Kel Clark, and then back to Drew Veach. Sato walking up to Tokyo Drift, a native of Kawasaki, Japan. Pippins also have a Kawasaki native, that's Shifu Hasegawa. I think Shifu was telling me he's seen this guy play over in Japan, attends the University of Hawaii. First pitch, changeup from Burgess, downstairs, ball one. I don't think he said he'd ever played against Sato, but knows who he is at least. 1-0 pitch. Sato takes another one downstairs, 2-0 from Burgess. Sam so far, 2 strikeouts. He's induced a double play. He's given up 2 hits. Out of the windup, the 2-0. On the ground out towards Hupka at short. 3 bounces. He comes up with it. He fires onto the bag. Off the bag is Velasquez, but he throws the tag on Sato on the way by. 1 up, 1 down here in the third. Wasn't terribly far off the bag, but Velasquez did have to come off to make sure that that ball didn't get away. Here's Cale Clark, Billings, Montana. Well, they say Billings MO on the scoreboard. I don't think there is a Billings, Missouri, but there might be. He goes to Alabama State. First pitch misses outside from Burgess, ball 1. Base is empty, 1 away. Burgess still working out of the full windup as some clouds cast some shadows onto the field. 1-0, breaking ball downstairs in the right-hand batter's box to the lefty Clark. 2-0 the count. Both teams with 2 hits, both teams with no runs so far here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 pitch, again down and away. Burgess unable to find the strike zone here to the 9-hole hitter. Got to fight back. Certainly don't want to walk the number 9 hitter going into the top of the order. 3-0. There's a strike, hard of the plate. Fastball at 87, 3-1. Burgess trying to battle all the way back. Full wind, here's the 3-1. 3-2. Sam gonna attempt to climb the ladder here. From down 3-0, now into a full count. The payoff pitch on the way. On the ground, out towards Velasquez at first. He takes it to the bag himself. Great job by Sam Burgess to rally back. From 3 down, there's 2 away now. Back to the top of the order, Drew Veach. Andover, Kansas native attending Central Missouri. Got a bunt single to start the game. First pitch he saw. And it was an indecision for Burgess and Velasquez as to who was going to field the ball. And so neither one of them did. By the time they got to it, Veach was on first. First pitch, a strike, inner half, slider from Burgess. Just north of 40 pitches now. We're in the third frame here in Edmonton. Final game of this 3-game set. Pippins preparing to return home later tonight. 0-1 pitch, dances inside. Another slider. 1-1. Pippins trying to split the road series as well. They lost the series in Ridgefield, but took game 3. They're trying to get to 3-3 on the road trip and head back home. 1-1 upstairs. 2-1. Try to head back home with a record 3 games over 500 and a 4-2 record at home. They are trying to win their 5th game on the road. A win today would make them 5-4 away from the Orchard. 2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back to the screen. Ramos will get a new baseball. 2-2. Riverhawks down to their final strike in the third. Pippins had only 14 wins in the West Coast League season all of last year, trying to pick up win number 9 already this season today. 2-2. Wave and a miss. Drew Veach down on strikes. Third strikeout for Sam Burgess. The Pippins retire the Riverhawks in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. None left on the base paths. First 3 frames in the books. Time for the middle innings. When we come back, you're listening to Pippins Baseball. A little bit of holiday spirit here at Remax Field. They celebrate their Christmas in June, just about 10 days before the 24th and about a month before Christmas in July. But they're raising awareness and money and giving gifts to Santa's Anonymous so that kids, when the holiday season comes around, have presents on Christmas. Good cause. It's also Bark in the Park Day. Glad you're with us. I'm Harmon Johnsen. It's the top of the 4th inning. No score between these two squads. Pippins failing to score until the 5th inning yesterday. They ended up with a 10-2 win. Nick Velasquez, Parker Burt, Jay O'Neill, the 3 scheduled to hit here in the 4th. Nice, clear, sunshiny day here in Edmonton. Pippins in their blue tops, gray pants. Riverhawks in pinstripes with white with navy accents. First pitch from Alan Gonzalez is downstairs for ball 1 to Nick Velasquez. He walked back in the first frame. Pippins trying to break through off the scoreless tie. A ground ball right back to the pitcher. Gonzalez takes a few steps and throws it on to Andrews at first. Underhand style for out number 1. Tough luck for Velasquez there. Took one hop right back into Gonzalez's glove. So now here's Parker Burt, left fielder. Excuse me, wow. I had L4 written in my scorebook, and I said left fielder. Crazy how the brain works. First pitch down and in. Gonzalez shakes his hands and says, "Where was that pitch?" What I meant to say for the designated hitter, Parker Burt, was a line out to the second baseman. Don't even ask how I got those things confused. Big hack and a miss, top of the zone, 1-1 to Burt. Mad at myself that I messed that up because me, of all people, should know what I'm writing down. 1-1, Burt takes a fastball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Parker likes to draw walks. Parker likes to get deep into counts. He's also got 2 home runs on the year. Wave and a miss at a high inside changeup. Parker saw the difference in speed and tried to take a hack at it. 2-2. Gonzalez only had 6 2/3 innings coming into this game. He has worked into the 4th now. He's got 1 away. 2-2 pitch. Parker, a high drive deep out to left. He's carrying the bat with him to first. He discards it. The ball is gone. Parker Burt breaks the scoreless tie with his 2nd home run of the series. A moonshot out to left field. Pippins lead it 1-0. Parker Burt with a celebration down in the dugout as he took the medium-paced trot around the bases. Here's Jay O'Neill. Pippins lead it 1-0. He swings at the first pitch he sees and lines it softly foul over towards the picnic party area. Good to see Parker continue to see the ball well. 0-1. Jay back into the screen, now 0-2. O'Neill 0 for 1 today, a strikeout. He was 0 for 4 yesterday, but drew 2 walks and scored a run. So even though the batting average and the hit number struggling for Jay, he's still been able to get on and get around. 0-2. Downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't have the TrackMan data on Parker Burt's home run. First the 1-2. Called strike 3, a breaking ball on the outer half of the plate. O'Neill standing his ground, asking where the pitch was. MJ Willis tells him to head back to the dugout. 2 away. Luis Garcia, who struck out back in the 2nd, will hit. If I had to guess, though, left field is about 340 to the pole. That was just past the scoreboard and the light stanchion, so had to get at least 350 to get out of the ballpark. Then you saw it bounce. Garcia swing and a miss, strike 1. As far as exit velocity, definitely north of 90, maybe for sure north of 95. On the ground, back where it came from, off the glove of Gonzalez, which slows it down. Relay on from second. Sato picked it up, not in time. Garcia slides in with an infield single. Gonzalez was frustrated with himself. He had that ball bounce right off of his leather, which slowed it down enough that Sato couldn't get to it in time to get the out. Here's Abel Ramos. He flew out to center field to end the 2nd inning. First pitch he sees is down and out for ball 1. Parker has crushed 2 balls to left field this series. The first one was a 3-run home run on Friday night. This one a solo shot in the 4th as a pickoff goes over to first. It's not in time to get Garcia. Ramos was substituted out of the game Friday night as he lines one into center field. This is going to get down in front of Beach. Garcia stops at second. Abel Ramos, back-to-back hits with Garcia. Inning continues to stay alive. 2 away, 2 on for Ramon Valenzuela. Valenzuela flew out to right to start the third frame. Pippins trying to build on this 1-0 lead. First pitch. Big cut and a miss. Valenzuela was trying to go out to the shorter porch and right. It's 320 to the right field pole. It's 340 to the left field pole. 420 to dead center. 0-1, slight breeze blowing in from center field. The pitch skips in. 2 pitches in. It's 1-1. Ramon got around the bases Friday night. 1-1. Another wave and a miss. This one's downstairs. Couldn't come up with it. 1-2. Valenzuela trying to get Garcia home. He stands at second. Abel Ramos at first. Lefty stick facing the righty, Alan Gonzalez. Long set at the belt. A look to second. The 1-2 pitch. High. Throw goes down to first. Ramos crawls back into first base. He got caught up on the turf. Was able to sneak his hand in. Ramos was getting a very healthy secondary with the lead runner, Garcia, taking most of the attention of Gonzalez, the pitcher. 2-2. Valenzuela takes downstairs, ball 3. The count runs full. Both Pippins runners will be off with the pitch. Chance for some more action here for Yakima Valley on offense. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men aboard, 2 outs. The pitch. Skied in the air on the left side and well out of play. We will do it again as it lands in the bleachers. Ramos and Garcia backpedal their way to their respective bases. Garcia at second, Ramos at first. Ramon trying to put it in play. Another action pitch upcoming from Alan Gonzalez. Set at the belt. Here it comes. Ramon again foul. This is to the canopy behind us here in the press box. We'll have a third straight payoff pitch. Valenzuela trying to pull through here in a 1-0 game. Gonzalez sets at the belt again. Looks back to second. The payoff pitch. That is upstairs, ball 4. The runners can catch their breath as Cole Hubka strolls to the plate. Good at bat by Valenzuela. Hubka picked up a single back in the third. Single here would score 2. Looks like we're going to have a visit by Jamie Wilson, the pitching coach. Couple of bodies head down to the bullpen down the left field line for the Riverhawks as the infield meets together to talk about this dangerous situation. Pippins have the bases loaded with 2 away. A run already home on a 1-out solo bomb by Parker Burt. Meeting breaks up. Large crowd here at Remax Field, waiting in anticipation to see if their defense can pull through. Pippins had the bases loaded last night a couple times and were able to put up big numbers in both of them. 3 runs in the 6th inning, 4 runs in the 8th inning. 65 pitches for Gonzalez as the right-hander starts to warm up. Hubka takes a pitch to inside, nearly clipped him. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the order waits on deck, Tyson Miller. Pips with 3 hits in the frame. 1 run already home, 3 more waiting on the base pads. A throw goes over to first, nobody's there. Charging in to score as Andrews wasn't covering is Garcia. Ramos going to turn and head back towards third. The ball got away, and it went into the Pippins dugout. Yakima Valley almost scored 2 there. Instead, it's only 1. Garcia comes across to score on the error by the pitcher. Everybody else moves up 90 feet. Ramos to third. Valenzuela to second. Hubka in a 1-0 count. Abel walks his lead. Hubka takes inside 2-0. Gonzalez was hoping that Andrews was going to run back and cover the bag when he stepped off, but nobody was there. And the ball got all the way onto the warning track. 2-0, lined straight back into the netting, foul, 2-1. Cole Hubka, if he could pick up his second hit of the day, would find 2 RBI attached to it. Ramos at third, Valenzuela at second. 2-1, pitch misses inside to Hubka. 3 balls and a strike. Gonzalez gathers his thoughts behind the pitching mound before towing the slab. High stress pitches here in the 4th inning for the starter for the Riverhawks. 3-1. Hubka made him throw another strike. He started his trot, but will return back as it's now 3-2. 2 away, 2 on, both in scoring position. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cole Hubka facing a payoff pitch from Alan Gonzalez. Here it comes. Cole serves it foul on the right side, out of play. Crashes off the canopy. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Yakima Valley trying to extend this 2-0 lead. Home run by Parker Bird, an error by the pitcher Gonzalez, scored Garcia. Payoff pitch. Hubka stays alive. Half swing that he got enough of the bat on to send it to the backstop. Pippins trying to silence the big crowd here at Remax Field. Ramos at third, Valenzuela at second. Hubka in the box. 3-2, 2 outs. The pitch. Line drive out towards right. Stewart freezes, now comes in. Still charging, makes the catch. And the side is retired. Yakima Valley plates the first 2 runs of the game. Parker Burt gets a solo shot. Luis Garcia crosses the plate after an error. It's 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 of those errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 3.5, Yakima Valley leads it 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 4th here in Edmonton. Bottom of the 4th inning, Edmonton finds themselves down 2-0 after the Pippins plate 2, only 1 of them earned. In the fourth inning, Sam Burgess was laid out to the mound. He only got about 3 warm-up pitches, but he will face 2, 3, and 4. Now with a 2-0 cushion. Pippins 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Riverhawks no runs, 2 hits, 1 error right now. As we get set for the bottom of the fourth frame. Good to see Yakima Valley send 7 to the plate. They'll have the top of the order due up in the 5th. Kreisel struck out looking back in the first inning. Sam Burgess on 44 pitches, working now here in the fourth inning. Daichi Furuhata plays in on the grass, expecting a bunt. Everybody else plays normal depth. Burgess, first pitch, a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Sam has found himself in some trouble with a couple of base runners, but he's gotten a double play, and he came all the way back from 3-0 count to get a ground out as the next pitch is a swing and a miss over the heart of the plate, 1-1. To this point, only a couple of hits for the Riverhawks. That's all they have to show so far. 1-1, serve foul over towards the Riverhawk dugout on the third base side, 1-2. Here on this hybrid field, turf infield, turf foul territory, natural grass outfield, and warning track. 1-2, top shelf stays upstairs, 2-2. Quite a few pups in the ballpark for barking bleachers today. Haven't heard much barking though. 2-2. Top of the zone, again, stays there. Full count. Burgess working deep into the count here against Kreisel. Sends a pitch again upstairs, and the count favors the batter now. A full count walk. Finnegan Stewart struck out in the first as he strolls to the plate. Riverhawks have had the leadoff man aboard now in 3 of the 4 innings. One of them was left stranded at second base. The other one was retired on a double play. Now the third one here with nobody out stands at the first base bag. Burgess gets a ground ball up the middle through for a base hit. O'Neill up with it. He'll hold Kreisel at second. Walk, single, 2 aboard, nobody out. Riverhawks threatening here in the bottom of the fourth. Tough guy to face, Easton Andrews with 2 aboard and nobody out. Pippins are going to look for a ground ball somewhere and see if they can get 2 for the price of 1 again. They shift on the infield to the pull side for the left-handed stick Andrews. Daichi the only man over at third base. Huge hole on the left side of the infield. A look back to second. There's a bunt dropped down by Furuhata. It's going to roll foul. Andrews charging all the way through first. He didn't realize that was a foul ball. Wise of Daichi to let it roll. It is a turf infield and a turf line, so you're not going to get the natural grass, how do you call it, unpredictableness. But that one had some tail on the bunt. We'll see if he's doing it again. Daichi's got to be careful about where he goes because he's the only man on the left side. He's got to be able to cover the third base bag, but also field a bunt and send it to first. That might be the only play they get in that sort of situation. Andrews squares, corners charge, runner takes off. Burgess lets him do it. Cole Kreisel stole third without even a look. And so it's runners at the corners, and the situation gets a little tougher. Stewart at first, Kreisel at third. Ground ball double play means a run scores. Question is Andrews still bunting in an 0-1 count? Not squaring yet. A look over to first. The 0-1 catches the outer black, 0-2. Andrews disagrees. Strikeout would be huge. Pippin's likely to concede the second base bag to keep the run from scoring if a steal attempt is on by Stewart. 0-2. Ground ball through the left side. Andrews goes the opposite way. The Riverhawks have played it a run. Moving up to second, Finnegan Stewart. Easton Andrews goes opposite field on the ground to give the Riverhawks a 2-1 deficit. Still nobody out. Pippins have Nathaniel Carano warming up in the bullpen as Jake Lamferman calls an offensive meeting with Kataro Wakui and his two base runners. Ramos going to go out and have a chat with Burgess as well. Both teams using a timeout here. You got runners at first and second, nobody out. Pippin's going to be looking for a ground ball from Wakui or a strikeout. Any out you can get, you'd like if you're Yakima Valley. They ran into this situation on Friday night where they just couldn't find any outs in the first inning. Burgess spins and throws back to second. Hubka able to keep it in front, diving in safely. Stewart. Limit the damage. Still a 2-1 lead for Yakima Valley. Nobody out. A look back to second. Here's the first pitch. A bunt squared down in front of the plate. Burgess fields it himself, sends it on to first, the only play, covering Valenzuela. Sacrifice bunt for Kataro Wakui. One away. As you can score at 1-4. Moving into scoring position, Stewart and Andrews at third and second, respectively. Here's Matt Van Slyke. Van Slyke grounded into a double play back in the second. That's going to be hard to do here traditionally. First pitch, high and tight, ball one. Still could get a double play. It's just not going to be your routine on to second, on to first. Is Ethan Solscheider going to pop out of the dugout and have a meeting with Burgess? Sam was cruising through 3 frames, allowed 2 hits, no runs. He struck out a pair. Actually struck out 3. So far here in the fourth, it's been walk, single, sack, bunt, and a run already home. Salsa heads back to the dugout. Burgess tries to refocus here. Behind in the count, 1-0. Pitch, a strike on the inner half. Sam might have gotten away with a little peek over towards third as well. He comes out of the full windup. So as long as he does it before he begins the motion, it's not a balk. Long look in. Here's the 1-1. Half swing. Not called a strike. They appeal down to second base, and Scott Eckhart says there was no swing. So it's 2-1. You have third base umpire Brandon Strokey up the line in left field. And you've got Scott Eckhart standing in the B position between first and second, standing on the infield. MJ Willis calling the balls and strikes. 2-1. Breaking ball dances in. 3-1. walk, not the end of the world. It forces a force play at any bag. Jason Green, the left-handed hitting catcher, due up next. Van Slyke ahead in the count, 3-1. One away, the pitch. A breaking ball down and in, ball 4. The bags are loaded. There's one out. Pippins in a little bit of trouble here. Ramos patrolling his infield defense as Jason Green digs into the left-hand batter's box. Pippins are going to play middle infield, back corners in. Looking for a double play or a play at the plate. Burgess in a lefty-lefty situation here with Jason Green. First offering outside, ball 1. Both catchers, Green in the batter's box, but when he's on defense, and Ramos have kind of paused multiple times before throwing the ball back to their pitchers. 1-0, fouled back to the screen, 1-1. So either MJ Willis' zone is a little inconsistent right now, or she's just not vocalizing well enough to let the catchers hear her. It's been a pretty good crew up here in Edmonton. First time Pippins have Canadian umpires in the last couple of years. 1-1, half swing, down and away. Did he go? They appeal? No. No swing, says Brandon Strokey. The umpires have shifted now. At first base, up the line is Scott Eckhart, and in the C position is Strokey. Green ahead in the count, 2-1. Burgess working hard here in the 4th. Pitch on the way. A hard line drive into the right center field gap. This is trouble. Garcia has it roll all the way to the wall on him. 1 run is home. Here comes the second. Around third is a third. Van Slyke in standing. The play at third is well late. It's a bases clearing triple for Jason Green to give the Riverhawks a 4-2 lead. Green given 3 RBI as Burgess unable to limit the damage here. Coach Crustangel takes the ball from him, and Sam's day is done. New pitcher when we come back. Yakima Valley now trailing by 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to Edmonton. The Riverhawks lead it 4-2 after a bags clearing triple by Jason Green out to right center field. And so the Pippins bring on Nathaniel Carano, making his fifth appearance. He's 0-1 with a 6.14 ERA. 7 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. Green, the man at third, the last responsibility for Sam Burgess, as the first pitch is a fastball upstairs at 91 to Shiryu Sato. 1 ball, no strikes. Burgess goes 3 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, currently responsible for the 4 runs on the board. Infield plays in 1-0, fouled, straight back, 1-1. Carano will sit at around 90 on the radar gun for the fastball. Mixes in a breaking pitch as well. Jason Green, after the RBI triple, standing at third. 1-1, a foul ball off the body of Sato. 1-2. Open umpire MJ Willis gives Carano a new baseball. So a potential 5th run that Burgess will be on the hook for, and then his day will officially be closed. 1-2. Fastball, high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carano touching 92 there. Pippins looking for a couple outs here in the 4th after giving up 4 runs. A 5th one standing on third, time called. Don't quite know what the delay was. The umpire is looking toward the Riverhawk dugout. Now we're ready for the 2-2. Carano, there's the breaking ball. It's down and away. Count runs full. Pippins got the first 2 runs of the game in the top half of this frame. Now in the bottom half, the first 3 hitters that reached have all scored. Van Slyke also crossing the plate. 3-2, driven hard but foul down the right field line. Sato grounded out in the 3rd inning to the shortstop Hubka. Carano set at the letters, the payoff pitch. Down the right field line again, Garcia giving chase, but this is again into the stands. So Carano having to work hard here in his first at-bat. Pay off. Breaking ball down and away, ball 4. It'll be runners at the corners now with 1 away. Cale Clark digs into the left-hand batter's box. Just a double play from getting out of the inning and stopping the bleeding, but Riverhawks coming alive after being held to just 2 runs in the 9th inning yesterday. They were scoreless through 3. Pippins scored 2 in the top half of the 4th. Here in the bottom, 4 runs already home, 1 away, and runners at the corners. First pitch to Clark, downstairs, ball 1. It was an 8-pitch at-bat to start to Sato. This is the 8th hitter of the inning for Edmonton, Cale Clark. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out to first base. 1-1, down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Carano struggling with the strike zone here to start his appearance. Nate's got high strikeout numbers. Well, you wouldn't know it right now. 2-0, blew a fastball right by him. A throw down to first gets away from Velasquez, and here comes Jason Green to score. Moving up to second is Sato. Second time that this week on the road trip that Ramos will be charged an error with a back pick over to first. And now you can close the book on Burgess. All 5 runs on the board go to him. Sato at second after the E2. 2-1. Fastball downstairs. 3 balls and a strike. Ninth man to hit, Drew Veach waits on deck. 3-1. There's a strike, 3-2. Nibbled at the bottom corner. Count runs full. Back-to-back full counts here from Carano to these Riverhawks. One away, man at second. 5 runs have crossed the plate for the Riverhawks in the 4th. Payoff. Down and away, ball 4 with a fastball. So Carano has come in and walked the first 2 hitters he's seen. Drew Veach, 1 for 2 today, up for the 3rd time. He is the 9th Riverhawk to hit here in the 4th. Pippins have some bodies standing around in the bullpen waiting for the signal to get hot. First pitch from Carano to Veach is down and in with a changeup, 1-0. Strike zone has disappeared for the Pippins pitching. That's 4 walks they've issued here in the 4th, to go along with 3 hits. 1-0, a line drive down the right field line. Garcia chasing it over towards the bullpen. It is foul. Carano gets into the count, 1-1. Garcia had to run a long way, so the umpire is holding up play until he can get back towards his normal position. Runner at second is Sato. At first is Clark. Carano coming set at the stomach. Looking at second all the way. Now he fires home the 1-1. Cut on and missed. Change up. Able to get Veach to fall behind 1-2. Alan Gonzalez has had to wait a while to pitch. We'll see if he comes out for the 5th and try to get in line for a decision. 1-2. Nate Carano with 2 aboard. Fires it in and gets a foul ball off the back foot of Drew Veach. He walks around the entire batter's circle, shaking out his right foot. Only 1 out. Ground ball gets you back into the dugout for the 5th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carano delivers. Stung out towards right center field again. Garcia chasing it back. He reaches up. He has it in the glove. Tagging late out at second is Sato. The throw goes into first because Clark was all the way to second. So a fly out by Drew Veach advances 1 man over to third. Runners will be at the corners. Garcia ranging back there to help get out number 2. The Riverhawks have batted around now as Cole Kreisel hits for the 2nd time here in the 4th. We'll see if Clark is off at all with the pitches. Not this time, as Kreisel swings through a 91-mile-an-hour heater. Seven runs combined here in this 4th inning for the 2 squads. Pippins with 2. Riverhawks right now with 5. Squaring to bunt, a breaking ball slipped out of the hand of Carano. And so it's 1-1. The runner at third is Sato. Over at first is Cale Clark. Carano delivers 1-1. Another fastball blown right by Cole Kreisel. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You've got Finnegan Stewart looming in the on-deck circle. 10th hitter up here at the plate for the Riverhawks, Cole Kreisel. Down in a 1-2 count. Offenses for both teams have woken up here in Edmonton. The 1-2 pitch. Out towards left field. Charging in hard is Miller. Is he going to get there? No, it's a fair ball. It drops right on the line. The throw goes to third. Daichi doesn't know that the runner takes off for second. RBI single for Cole Kreisel. It's now 6-2 Riverhawks. Kreisel advancing to second on the throw into third. Cale Clark moves up to third base. Kreisel is at second. Here's Finnegan Stewart. First pitch, a looping breaking ball, caught the heart of the plate. 0-1. Pippins, another big inning given up here in Edmonton. Gave up 7 in the first inning on Friday night. Another breaking ball from Carano, stays upstairs, 1-1. They gave up 7 in the first inning of Friday night, 5 in the third, but since then, the most the Riverhawks had scored in an inning was 2. They had 1 in the second, 1 in the 8th on Friday, and 2 in the 9th last night. 1-1, fastball right by Finnegan. 1-2. Hopefully this is the one big inning the Pippins will give up today. That's what did it in for them on Friday night, was having 2 of them in relative proximity. 4-run ball game, 6-2 the lead for Edmonton. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Carano. Fastball upstairs. 2-2. Pippins have Eric Anthony warming up in their bullpen. Couple of arms getting loose for Edmonton as well. Carano's 2-2. Breaking ball swung on late down the right field line, out of play. Riverhawks stay alive. Two and two the count. Runners at second and third, 2 away. Carano delivers. Fastball outside. The count runs full. Four walks issued in the inning. 4 hits given up as well. Big payoff pitch here as the Pippins try to get back into the dugout and get back on offense. Here's the payoff. On the ground, slowly out towards Valenzuela at second. He's up with it. He fires to Nick, who keeps his toe on the bag, and the inning comes to a close. The Riverhawks score 6 times on 4 hits. There was 1 error by Yakima Valley, and there were 2 runners left on base. After 4 complete, 6-2 Riverhawks lead it here in Edmonton. We'll be right back. This is Pippins Baseball. Welcome back to Edmonton. Top of the fifth inning. New pitcher into the game for the Riverhawks. Trey Nance, the right-hander from Bellevue College, 6', 195, comes into this game featuring a 5.40 ERA, and he will face the top of the Yakima Valley order. Tyson Miller due up first. Time called. I don't believe there was a pitch thrown there. The pitch came home, but it was ruled a no pitch to Tyson Miller as Riverhawks players who were out playing catch with the outfield were still on the field. So here's the official first pitch. It's a wave and a miss by Tyson. 5.40 ERA, pitching in his third game. He has one save. Gone 3 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Nance, a contact pitcher. 0-1, down and in across the shoe tops. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nance with a whip of 120. Pippins trying to bump that number up here. Top of the fifth, Yakima Valley trails 6-2 after allowing 6 runs on 4 hits and 4 walks in the bottom of the fourth. 1-1 is inside, 2 balls and a strike, 90 miles an hour on the radar gun for Nance. So Gonzalez goes 4 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. 2-1, upstairs to Tyson. Count is 3-1. You'd love to get a leadoff man aboard, put the pressure on right away. Pippins 2 runs, 5 hits. Riverhawks 6 runs, 6 hits. An error apiece. The 3-1. Tyson grounds it slowly out toward second. Sato charging, flips it sidearm, and he gets Miller at first. Tyson's speed not able to beat that ground ball. Daichi Furuhata hits for the 3rd time. Furuhata 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out on a 3-game hitting streak. Nance out of the full windup, the reliever fires a fastball upstairs, 1-0. Pippins have scored 10 runs in both games they've played here. One of them was a loss, 14-10. One of them a win, 10-2. 1-0. Daichi pokes it off the end of the bat down the right field line, foul. 1-1. Pippin's going to have to play at least 4 over the next 5 innings. 1-1. Full windup comes Nance. The pitch inside part of the plate called strike 2. Inching closer to the 2-hour mark in this contest. Pippins have a flight to catch this evening. 1-2. Daichi takes outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pippins will probably grab some food after we leave the ballpark and head down to the airport. We can take our time, though, as long as this game doesn't carry on. 2-2 for Furuhata. Watch one down on the carpet, and the count runs full. Edmonton International Airport is about a 15-minute drive from where the hotel was here, so payoff. Daichi fouls it off at the plate. Green couldn't hang on, so the count remains full. So it'll probably be about a 20-minute drive to get down there. Then you got to figure, give yourself at least an hour to get checked in, get bags checked in, go through security, and settle in before you wait at the gate for the flight home back to Vancouver, and then cross the border and bus all the way back to Yakima. Another payoff to Daichi, hard on the ground over towards Krusty, makes a barehanded grab. Nice play, coach. Took it right off on one hop. Let's see if Daichi can straighten one of these out. He's gotten enough to stay alive, but not enough to put it out in the field of play. Another full count pitch. Daichi takes high and tight near the lips. He's going to sprint down to first. That's all he'll get with the walk. Man aboard, one away. Nick Velasquez set to hit for the third time. Velasquez 0 for 1 with a ground out back to the pitcher in the fourth and a walk with a stolen base. Nance's first pitch to him is high and away, ball one. Pips would love to kind of give Edmonton a taste of their own medicine after the fourth. Pippins did that a couple times yesterday. 1-0, high and away. Nance misses 2-0. Pippins at 8-6, trying to get 3 games above 500 before we return home to face the Bend Elks on Tuesday. 2-0, a strike on the outer half, 2-1. Velasquez still ahead in the count. Daichi over at first. Here it comes. Another one catches the outer half. It's 2-2. Nick gonna have to protect now. Set out the letters. 2-2 pitch. Out foul over on the left side. Lands in an empty row. Hard to believe there's an empty row here, but when your 9,200 seat ballpark only has 5,769 folks in it, there are bound to be a couple of empty rows. That was the official announced attendance today, was 5,769. 2-2 to Nick. Hard line drive down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No, it's in the Pippins bullpen. Nick turned on it, just couldn't keep it straight. We'll do it again at 2-2. Nance's pitch count being pushed up. He's preparing to throw his 20th. Only 3 1/3 innings coming into this one with 2 games under his belt, so we'll see how long he's asked to go. 2 balls, 2 strikes again. The pitch to Nick. Matrix bends out of the way to avoid being hit by the 2-2. So now the count runs full with 1 away. Daichi is over at first base. Riverhawks lead it 6-2. We're in the 5th inning. Approaching the halfway point in the ball game. Payoff. High and away, ball 4. Pippins have 2 aboard with only 1 away. Back-to-back walks issued by Trey Nance. A little bit of a spark upcoming to the plate. Parker Burt with a solo home run back in the 4th. Could make this a one-run ball game with one swing. Love to see Parker advance the train, try to avoid an out. Maybe even draw a third walk from Nance. First pitch taking is a strike on the outer black to the right-hander Parker Burt. Daichi at second, Nick Velasquez at first on back-to-back walks. The 0-1. Similar spot, this time called ball one. Fastball from Nance. Everybody playing today, but not all the games started yet. About half of them started at 1:05 local time, and half of them going to start around 5:30. 1-1 skips in, 2 balls and a strike. Green might have gotten a pellet of turf in his eye, went through his mask as he takes the protective shield off and wipes his face. Riverhawks play it straight up with Parker Burt in the right-hand batter's box. 2-1 pitch. Parker takes a strike over the plate, 2-2. Changeup at 85 from Nance. Tying run is in the on-deck circle. It's Jay O'Neill. Flag sitting limp out in center field here on a 70-degree day in Edmonton. 2-2 pitch. Parker got a piece of it and sent it back to the screen. He stays alive at 2-2. A lot of long at-bats here in the fifth inning for Pippins hitters. Again, the positive side of that, you're driving up the reliever's pitch count, as now another right-hander has started throwing in the Riverhawks bullpen. 2-2. Parker slowly on the ground to third. Foul. Coach Krusty will make another play. About to be the 7th pitch to get thrown to Parker Burt. Nance comes set at the letters. Daichi at second, Nick at first. The 2-2 to Parker. Slowly on the ground, back to the pitcher. He's going to throw to third. The throw is high, but landing right on the bag is Van Slyke. The Riverhawks get the lead runner, Daichi Furuhata. Smart play by Nance, although he almost overthrew his third baseman. Velasquez moves up to second. Parker Burt at first in the fielder's choice. And now here's Jay O'Neill. He's struck out twice today. Look back to second. First pitch up above the letters to O'Neill. 1-0. They're feeding a couple of the dogs peanut butter on the video screen. That'll have them going for a while. A look back to second by Nance. The 1-0 pitch. Jay lines one back up into center field, down for a base hit. Slowly rolls out to Veach out there in center. Rounding third and scoring is Nick Velasquez. And the Pippins have cut the lead down to half. 6-3. Back-to-back innings with a run scored for Yakima Valley. Good to see Jay find a base hit. Perfectly placed back up the box. And now here's Luis Garcia, who represents the tying run. First pitch, down and away. Luis checked his swing. It's 1-0. Nance now north of 30 pitches here in this fifth inning. Pippins only have one run to show for it. Trying to find a mistake from Nance. 1-0. Garcia pops it straight up on the infield, foul territory, chasing it back to the screen is Green. He runs out of room, falling into the netting. 1-1. Right-handed action for the Riverhawks, still working in their bullpen. Pippins have a few bodies standing around in their bullpen. Nathaniel Carano currently still slated to come out for the bottom half of the fifth. 1-1. Garcia takes a pitch upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Eric Anthony was throwing down in the Pippins bullpen. We'll see if his services are called on for the fifth inning. 2-1. High and away with the miss. The count moves to 3 balls and a strike. MJ Willis hearing it a little bit from the Riverhawks faithful. 3-1 to Luis. The go-ahead run is off Bill Ramos. He's in the on-deck circle here in the fifth frame. 3-1. Garcia pops it straight back into the screen, and the count runs full. Runners will take off with the pitch. Leading it out there at second, Parker Burt. Jay O'Neill stands at first after an RBI single. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. There go the runners. Here comes the pitch. It is high, ball 4. Garcia draws the walk. Bags are loaded for Yakima Valley with 2 away. And up comes Upvel Ramos. Infield going to get together with the pitcher Nance ahead of the Ramos at bat. Ramos is going to go have a chat with Luis Garcia, his teammate at Western Oklahoma. Big situation here. Riverhawks coming off of a 6-run 4th inning. Pippins trying to respond. Ramos represents the tying run in the batter's box. He's got Parker Burt at third. He's got Jay O'Neill at second, Luis Garcia at first. So speed on the base pads behind Parker Burt, who is the closest to home plate. First pitch, Ramos sends it out into center field. Veach settles under it and retires the side. Yakima Valley ends up with only 1. They leave the bases loaded. They picked up 1 hit, and there were no errors. Halfway home here in Edmonton, 6-3, the Riverhawks lead. Pippins trying to claw their way back. Welcome to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Edmonton. Riverhawks lead the Pippins 6-3. Taking a look at the rest of the West Coast League right now, the Walla Walla Sweets down, or rather, Yeah, down. We're the farthest north you're going to be in the West Coast League. Down in Kamloops, they lead it 6-2 in the bottom of the sixth inning. In Victoria, Springfield trails the Harbor Cats 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth. At Nanaimo, Wenatchee trailing the Night Owls 4-0. Portland at Bellingham, bottom of the first inning. That game just underway. 5-0 Pickles at the Bells. And a couple games that are about to get started. Ridgefield at Marion, 5:05 Pacific start time. Corvallis at Bend, same start time. Says top of the fourth at Kelowna, Port Angeles, and the Falcons currently scoreless. New pitcher into the game for Yakima Valley. It's Eric Anthony. Anthony coming in after Carano goes 2/3 of an inning, giving up a run. He walked a pair. He gave up a hit as well. So Anthony comes in and faces one of the hottest hitters in the West Coast League, Easton Andrews, and throws a first pitch ball to him. Andrews 1 for 2 today, RBI single to left field. Usually a pull hitter. Pippins still shade him that way. There's a strike from Anthony to even the count 1-1. Eric Anthony wears 24, the righty up on the hill. Fifth game, 5.40 ERA. He's pitched in 5 innings. Wave and a miss on a changeup to Andrews, 1-2. He struck out 2, no record. Has seen action against Springfield June 2nd and June 4th. Played against Marion Berries on June 6th, and then the last game in Ridgefield, he went an inning in the 13-1 win. 1-2 pitch. Andrews lays off an outside. 2-2. Here in the rubber game of this series, Edmonton currently leads at 6-3. 2-2. Breaking ball off the end of the bat out towards left field. Tyson having to run a long way to his right. He reaches up. He makes the catch. Andrews has gone the opposite field twice today. Scouting report had him as a dead red pull hitter. Tyson able to track that one down. One away here in the fifth. Here comes Kotaro Wakui. Single and a sacrifice bunt today makes him 1 for 1. First pitch, a home run hack as the helmet comes halfway off. Got a breaking ball from Anthony, and he falls behind 0-1. That was certainly a free swing. No balls and a strike. Pitch from Anthony. Fastball hard at the plate. 0-2. Now he's got Wakui wondering what's next. Bright sunshiny day here at the ballpark, Remax Field in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Anthony set at the letters. The 0-2 pitch off the end of the bat again, out towards left field. Tyson drifting back. He has it. 2 away, both on flyouts to Tyson Miller in left. Here's Matt Van Slyke. 2 away here in the fifth. Pippins trying to get back to regularly scheduled programming and hang another 0. They hung 8 of them yesterday, 3 of them to start the game today. Luke McGuire took a shutout into the 8th inning. He did not finish the 8th. He went 7 2/3. First pitch on the ground out towards Daichi. He throws on the run over to first, and a very clean 1-2-3 inning worked by Eric Anthony here in the fifth. No runs, no hits, no errors. None left on the base paths. Through 5 here in Edmonton. 6-3 Riverhawks. Pippins trying to find the scoreboard. Welcome back to Edmonton. Top of the sixth inning. Another new pitcher into the game for the Riverhawks. Owen Combs, 6'4", 195 from the University of Utah, comes into the game. On the season for Combs, he has appeared in 3 games. He's pitched 8 innings, has 1 save, a 5.63 ERA. He has struck out 4. Last appearance came on June 11th against the Victoria Harbor Cats, going 2 innings, giving up no hits and no runs. His big outing that he has given up was 4 innings against Nanaimo back on June 5th. He gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned on 2 strikeouts. And so the Pippins looking for that version of Owen Combs as they have 9-1 and 2 due up, or excuse me, 8-9 and 1 due up here in the 6th. Ramon Valenzuela takes the first pitch strike. 37 pitches for Nance. He gives up 1 run on 1 hit, 2 walks, no strikeouts. The 0-1 on the ground sharply out towards second. Sato up with it, throws on to first. Andrews toes the bag. 1 away here in the 6th. Cole Hubka to hit for the 3rd time. 1 for 2, a single and a flyout. Combs, a guy that the Riverhawks might try to ride through 2 or 3 innings at least. First pitch he throws to Hubka is lined out to short. This is picked off the turf, and Hubka will be safe. Kreisel says that he caught that on a line. Jake Lanferman will head out and try to argue the case that his shortstop has. Hubka with an infield single as it stands. Kreisel didn't throw it across because he thought that he caught it on a line. Braden Strokel saying no, it was a 1 hop off the turf. And that's how the play will stand. Hubka with an infield single. He's 2 for 3. And so Tyson Miller will dig in. Now Strokey has to go stand out in the B position between second and third. Tyson swings and fouls the first one into the screen. 0-1. Pippins will take the base runner. Tying run in the on-deck circle. It's Daichi Furuhata. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. 0-1. Tyson sends it well out of play, out of the stadium actually, off to the left side. 0-2. Here on the banks of the North Saskatchewan River, Pippins trail by 3. Check over to first. Hubka back in plenty of time. No balls and 2 strikes from the 6'4" reliever, Combs. Tyson shoots one foul over towards the party deck. Still 0-2. Remax Field. So we've been talking about how big it is and how much that it's been important to this community. 0-2. Tyson called strike 3 at the top of the zone. Drags the bat with him as he walks back to the dugout disappointed. 2 away. Daichi Furuhata hits now. The current ballpark was built in 1995, so not as old as you would think. But the plot of land that this ballpark has been on has been around since 1933. Back then known as Renfrew Park, opened on May 24th, 1933. First pitch, a strike to Daichi, 0-1. Had a capacity back then of 6,500, but then burnt down in August of 1950. Daichi takes a pitch that bounces away. Green unable to throw down to second. Hubka into scoring position. Back then, stadiums were constructed with wood, so a fire burned down the original Renfrew Park. And then it was rebuilt with a steel grandstand. 1-1, Daichi a strike over the heart of the plate. Still in the old time for this plot of land. Wasn't hosting truly major affiliated ball. That didn't come until 1981. First a 1-2 pitch here to Daichi. Pokes it off the end of the bat, high out towards very shallow right, drifting back to second baseman Sato. He makes the catch, and we'll continue the story of Remax Field when we come back. Pippins get no runs on one hit, no errors, and one runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Edmonton Riverhawks leading at 6-3 over the Yakima Valley Pippins. Definitely feels like Christmas here. They have bought into the Christmas in June promotion here at Remax Field. Bottom of the sixth inning, Jason Green, Shiryu Sato, and Cale Clark due up. 7, 8, and 9 in the order. Riverhawks lead at 6-3. We were right before we went to the half-inning break talking about the history of this ballpark. And as Jason Green digs in, I mentioned that in 1981, the stadium became kind of a major hub for affiliated professional baseball. The Edmonton Trappers of the Pacific Coast League, which is AAA, came to the stadium, and then swing and a miss by Green in 1984. They renamed the stadium from Renfrew Park to John Ducey Park after local legend John Ducey, who was an umpire, a coach, a player, and known as Mr. Baseball when he was playing. 0-1, waving a foul back to the screen. 0-2, Anthony ahead in the count. You think about some of the people who have played in this ballpark back in that early affiliated time. You think about some names like Fernando Valenzuela and Jason Giambi, Dante Bichette. All of them passed through this ballpark at one point. 0-2, Anthony misses down and away with a breaking ball. By the 90s, this facility didn't meet the standards required for AAA baseball, which is hard to believe thinking about how the stadium looks now. But the reason this stadium is here is because the old one didn't meet standards. As Green fouls it off, it's still 1-2. And so in 1995, Edmonton Ballpark became TELUS Field after TELUS Communications. And the structure that we sit in right now was what was built in 1995. This was after the Trappers won their first Pacific Coast League championship, as the 1-2 stays upstairs, 2-2. 1984, they won it. And then this place became the place to be because the Trappers in the new ballpark had 3 more championships in 1996, 1997, and 2002. 2-2 swing and a miss by Jason Green. There's a strikeout by Eric Anthony, his first, 1 away. Shiryu Sato digs in. So 4 championships for the Edmonton Trappers in the PCL from 1984 to 2002. And then in 2005, the Trappers suddenly were sold and relocated to Round Rock, Texas to become the Round Rock Express. And so going into 2005, as Anthony spikes the first pitch, 1-0, there was no tenant for what is currently Remax Field. So in 2005, the stadium became home to the Edmonton Cracker Cats, which was then renamed the Capitals. 1-0 inside, 2-0. From 2005 to 2011, and the Capitals bounced around in leagues for independent pro baseball like the Northern League and the Golden Baseball League. 2-0. Anthony gets into the count. There's a strike on the outer half. And so it was all pro baseball at this site until 2011. Then in 2012, the professional indie ball left. 2-1. Missed upstairs, 3-1. And so the Edmonton Prospects of the Western Canadian Baseball League, or WCBL, which is kind of like the Canadian version of the West Coast League. It's the same type of player made up. 3-1 upstairs, ball 4. Sato draws a walk. Same type of makeup for the players. They pulled from colleges in the area and around the countries. So the WCBL team, called the Edmonton Prospects, took up residence here in the ballpark from 2012 to 2019. So college baseball came to the ballpark then. The naming rights expired for TELUS, and so the name for a moment went back to Edmonton Ballpark while there was no naming partner, and then Remax, throw over to first, not in time. Real estate firm, pretty well known around both Canada and the United States, acquired the naming rights ahead of 2017, and it's been known as Remax Field ever since. There's still one more tenant that we haven't talked about. As the ball bounces away from Ramos, moving up to second on a breaking ball is Shiryu Sato. Wild pitch by Eric Anthony, man at second, 1 away. During the COVID 2020, the ballpark obviously sat empty. Canada was shut down for most of it. There was no sporting events. But before the pandemic really took off, the city got into a 10-year lease with a new ownership group led by a former Edmonton Oilers defenseman, the hockey team. Pitch upstairs, 2-0. Randy Gregg leading the way. And they founded the expansion franchise, the Edmonton Riverhawks, for the West Coast League. As Coach Salsa pops out of the dugout to have a chat. The Riverhawks were supposed to start playing in 2020, and then the pandemic shut it down. And in 2021, the border was still heavily protected for COVID regulations, and so the Canadian teams in the West Coast League did not play in 2021, even though the league had a season. And so the debut for the Riverhawks here at Remax Field didn't happen until 2022. But because they didn't play for 2 years after the team was founded, the group had plenty of time to really revitalize this space. It hadn't had a major upgrade since 1995, and now the Pippins going to call a trainer over. Eric Anthony seems to be struggling with something. Salsa asking for athletic training staff to come out from the Riverhawks dugout. Krusty is out there as well. The infield coming in. The umpire's trying to find a trainer. Now here one comes. Coach Salsa seems to be pointing at the inside part of the pitching arm for Eric Anthony. So the Pippins are going to get a guy ready to come into this game if Eric can't stay in. We might have an injury timeout here for a Pippins hurler. Couple of bodies standing down in the bullpen. Meeting still going on there on the mound. Riverhawks have a man at second. Cale Clark in the batter's box. They lead it 6-3 here in the sixth. And it looks like a new arm is trotting in from the Pippins bullpen. Eric Anthony's day will be done here. Likely, yep, there he goes off the field. Tosses the ball to the new hurler. And Anthony departs with an apparent injury to his arm. This appears to be Bo Lloyd out on the mound. We'll let him take his time to warm up. He gets as much time as he needs. And I'll be back after a quick drink of water and Bo Lloyd with his warm-up pitches. Eric Anthony out of the game, 6-3. Riverhawks lead. We're in the sixth inning. We'll be right back after a little bit longer of a break. New pitcher into the game for Yakima Valley. This is John Witt, wears number 11, has not pitched in quite a while. Witt used primarily as a closer for the Pippins, but after having sat since June 7th against the Berries, 7 days later he will get some action just to keep the arm fresh. 4 innings pitched in 4 games. He's got 2 saves. He's allowed 2 hits. Currently a 0 ERA as well. Eric Anthony out of the game with an apparent arm injury after throwing 21 pitches. First pitch John Witt throws is a pop-up foul out of play. He inherits a 2-0 count and immediately moves it to 2-1. So Witt probably going to be asked to get at least an inning of relief, maybe two, just to get the arm back in condition for a potential save this next week. Pippins have the off day tomorrow, a chance to recover and sleep a little bit from the travel, and then welcome the Bend Elks for 3 games to Yakima County Stadium. 2-1, a breaking ball outside, the count 3-1. This is tough for Witt because you come into a count that isn't favoring you. Have to come in and find some strikes against a batter you didn't face at the first 2 pitches. Top of the order looms on deck, Drew Veach. 3-1, a big cut and a miss. So the count runs full, 3-2. Witt so far on the season has 3 strikeouts. John comes set up near the letters. Payoff pitch. Sliced foul down the left field line, out of play. Hope everything's good with Eric Anthony. Had some trainers come look at him, but they did not follow him off the field. Maybe just a little bit of discomfort in the elbow area. Seemed to be where they were pointing. Certainly hope nothing severe. Payoff. Witt lost him, ball 4. Again, tough situation to inherit. Came in a 2-0 count. Let's see if John can recover here, facing the first batter of his own. Unfortunately, I think the walk does get credited to John, even though he didn't start the at-bat. He finished it. So 2 on, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Pippins currently trailing by 3, 6-3. Witt's first pitch to Veach. Called a strike by MJ Willis. Down and away was the location. 0-1. Yeah, Witt does get credited with that walk, which is just too bad because in reality, he didn't start the at-bat. A look back to second. The 0-1 from John, cut on and missed by Veach. 0-2. Pippin's trying to get a little bit of a spacer between them and the 500 marker. Still early on in the season, but the end of the first half is coming sooner than you think. This is game 15 of the 27-game first half. 0-2, both runners take off. The pitch is fouled back to the screen, and everybody will return. Ramos with a quick chat to John. I think they're going to burn a visit there. That sucks. Being blunt, sorry. I get it. We're trying to keep the game moving along, but every visit gets tracked now. 0-2, John spins around and uses a disengagement, trying to keep the runners at bay. He's got the count 0-2. 1 away, looking for a ground ball or a strikeout. 0-2, fouled at the dish. The runners take off to second and third. They're going to have to move back. Scott Eckhart says foul ball. Now Brandon Strokey says foul ball. MJ Willis was the first one that called foul ball. So both runners will move back to their bases. She called it right away. I don't know what the argument is here from Jake Lanferman. And now Coach Crustangel going to ask for something from MJ Willis. Don't know what the conversation might be between Coach Crusty and the home plate umpire. Ramos strolling slowly out towards the plate. Witt knows that there's only one more visit to use, so he waves Ramos off. Third base umpire Brandon Strokey getting in there, anxiously waiting to give them a visit. And now the umpires are going to get together. MJ Willis, Scott Eckhart, and Brandon Strokey. Wonder what Coach Crusty was asking about. I didn't see anything on the base pads that could have led to a potential interference or anything like that. It was immediately ruled a foul ball by MJ Willis. She threw her hands up and said foul. Umpires discussing, and now Coach Crusty going to talk to the crew chief, Scott Eckhart, who's the first base umpire, about what the verdict is. A little bit of a delay here as John Witt tries to get a strikeout. Umpires still chatting with Coach Crusty. Salsa and Panch having a conversation as well down in the dugout. Crusty must have seen something. He likes to make sure that everything's as by the book as possible. Now the Remax Field crowd growing restless. It's a four-way discussion. All three umpires and Coach Crustangel, as now John Witt will play catch with Daichi Furuhata at third to try to keep his arm loose. Verdict is in on the discussion down by the first base bag. Now Brandon Strokey will relay what just happened to Lanferman down in the third base coaching box. It was a foul ball. The runners are at first and second. The count is 0-2. Brandon Strokey still clarifying things with Jake Lanferman. John Witt waiting to throw his 0-2 pitch. I wish I had the insider information on what this discussion was about. Everybody seems to be returning to their spots. No balls and 2 strikes. Jake Lanferman seems to be the most frustrated with the whole situation. We'll see if the delay affects John Witt at all. He's ahead in the count 0-2 to Drew Veach here in the 6th. Runners are at first and second. They've tried stealing twice. They've had to return twice. 0-2 wave and a miss. A slider from John Witt gets him swinging. There's 2 away here in the 6th inning. Cole Kreisel will dig in. He's 1 for 2 today. A single, a strikeout, an RBI, a run scored after a walk. Some goals have landed out in right center field. Seen them flying around the ballpark the last couple days, but must have found something out there in the outfield grass. First pitch to Kreisel is high and away, ball 1. They usually hang out near the banks of the river, which we are on, North Saskatchewan River. Nice big waterway. Flows through the center of the city. 1-0. Sent foul out to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball was caught over by somebody with one of their dogs. Hopefully those birds don't start messing with Luis Garcia out there in right. 1-1. Slow breaking ball, hard of the plate, 1-2, and the Riverhawks in danger of stranding another couple of runners. They've stranded 3 so far, 1 in the first, 2 in the fourth after they scored those 6 runs. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 away, John Witt sends it home. Fastball on the ground, slowly out towards first. Nobody's covering the bag. Who's going to win the race? John Witt takes it himself, and it's a 1 assisted over at first to retire the 6th inning. John Witt wins the foot race. No runs on, no hits, no errors. 2 base runners left on after a pair of walks. We go to the late innings here in Edmonton. Pippins need 3. They trail 6-3 here at Remax Field. Owen Combs finishing his warm-up tosses here at Remax Field. Top of the 7th inning. Glad you're with us. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Pips trail 6-3 as we are in the late innings. Some clouds have settled in overhead. Says there's a 40% chance of rain starting at 4 p.m. So this game needs to start moving along a little bit quicker. We had a little bit of a delay as the umpires and the 2 coaches sorted something out in the bottom of the 6th. 3 innings to play. Certainly don't want to run into any rain with a game like this where it's close. 6-3, anything can happen still. Yakima Valley has 3, 4, and 5 up in their order. First pitch from Owen Combs, misses high and away. Ball 1. He had to sit for a while as the Riverhawks had some traffic, could not score them. And of course, the delay when talking to the umpires as well. Next offering downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Pippins have had base runners today. Stranded 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, and 1 in the sixth. 2-0. Velasquez takes a strike on the outer black. 2 balls and a strike. So by my count, that's 8 runners that have been left on. Pippins left 15 on last night in their 10-2 victory. 2-1, down and in across the shoe tops. 3-1. Chances of rain are between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and then afterwards it kind of tapers off. But around 5 o'clock, they say there might be an isolated thunderstorm. We don't want lightning. 3-1. Velasquez waves through a fastball at the top of the zone, runs the count full. When it does rain, if it does rain, they're only predicting 0.1 millimeters. So take that as you will. It shouldn't get terribly wet, but 3-2, Velasquez down on strikes. He swings through it. One away here in the 7th. Parker Burt up to hit next. Parker takes the slow trot up to the right-hand batter's box. Temperature's actually risen a little bit. We started the game at 23 degrees Celsius. It's now 24. For those of you wanting the translation, that means it's 76 degrees Fahrenheit. First pitch in there to Parker Burt, 0-1. Chances of rain all next week here in Edmonton. Riverhawks will be on the road, though. 0-2 now as a bender comes in to Parker Burt. Edmonton has a 4-game series against the Wenatchee Apple Sox when they go down to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium starting on Tuesday. 0-2. Parker leaned into it. Stuck his elbow out. It's an 0-2 count. They're going to keep him in the box for now. I think, I don't want to be the one to say it, but I think that's supposed to be a strikeout. Umpires kind of looking at each other. The count on the board says 1-2. Jake Lamferman will head out and have a chat with the home plate umpire, MJ Willis. Again, I don't want to be the one to say it because it's my guy in the box, but I'm pretty sure that should be a strikeout because the pitch would count as a strike. It was an 0-2 count. Jake Lamferman, the head coach, asking for help. Now the umpires are going to get together. MJ Willis calls in her partners. Braden Strokey at third, Scott Eckhart at first. Umpires, a very quick chat. They're going to keep Parker in the batter's box with a 1-2 count. Coach Krusty having a conversation with the Riverhawks dugout, not in a bad way. He's having a pleasant conversation about what just happened. So it's 1-2. Parker stuck his elbow out, tried to get hit. He remains in the box, though, as the next pitch skips in 2-2. Some dark skies looming beyond the canopy here at Remax Field. Based on the drone shot, I can't see it because it's behind me, but the drone shot on the scoreboard showed some pretty dark clouds. Parker Burt sends one down into left field for a base hit. Hard line drive that's bobbled out there momentarily by Clark. Doesn't matter that Burt got hit on the elbow sticking it out there. He picks up a single. So Jay O'Neill will hit. He is 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts and an RBI single. Pippins trying to bring the tying run up to the plate. He's on deck. It's Luis Garcia. Pips just need base runners. Lots of them. Try to take the lead and build on it. O'Neill squares to bunt. First pitch is downstairs. They throw back into second, and Burt slides across both bags. They call time. The helmet comes off for Parker, and that might have got him on the nose. They immediately call for the trainers. Parker holding his elbow. Oh, no. Easton Andrews was immediately calling for assistance. Parker holding his... Well, they're going to lay him down on his back. He's holding his wrist. This is the Pippins catcher who's leading the league in batting average, laying flat on his back after an awkward slide into first base. The count is 1-0. We'll have another short stoppage of play. Trainer, appears to be talking on the walkie-talkie to somebody. It was an immediate, we need help over at first base. Parker laying on his back in pain, asking to be helped up. clutching his left arm against his chest, and he's holding his elbow. He'll be ushered off the field by a couple members of the Riverhawks staff and training staff. Pippins are going to get a pinch runner here, Derek Hurtado, wearing number 38 into the game to run for Parker. He is a designated hitter, so you don't have to worry about the defensive spot. But for Parker, that is the absolute worst thing you want to see right now. Hurtado will come in and run for Burt here in the 7th. And the only hope right now I have is that Parker is going to be okay. Very awkward slide back into first base. Parker's gone up the tunnel towards the Pippins clubhouse. And now Hurtado takes his place over at first. 1-0, O'Neill takes a strike at the top of the zone to add insult to injury to make it 1-1. Hope Parker is okay. Eric Anthony left this game with a apparent arm injury. Parker Burt doing the same. Jay sends one sharply out towards center field, drifting to his right. Veach, he will make the catch with the wind blowing at his back. 2 away here in the 7th. Not only is it a blow for the Pippins to lose Parker Burt in this game because he's 2 for 4 with a home run and a single, but it's a blow for the league because Parker's leading the league in batting average and is up at the top in the top 3 in on-base percentage. He's been one of the best players in the West Coast League, period. So hopefully he's all right and can come back on Tuesday. First pitch missing down and away from Combs to Luis Garcia, 1-0. Never want to assume anything, but based on the way Parker was holding his elbow, didn't look comfortable. It's 1-1. Garcia fouls it back into the screen. Ball boys fall asleep, so Abel Ramos picks up the loose pearl. 1-1. Man at first is Hurtado. Pitch is sliced foul down the right field line, out of play. 1-2. Pippins down to their final strike here in the 7th. Edmonton has 3, 4, and 5 in their order, due up in the 8th. Story of today is the 4th inning and a couple of Pippins injuries so far. Throw over to first. Hurtado back in safely. Count remains 1-2. If you weren't with us earlier, Eric Anthony leaving with an apparent arm injury. At least that's where he was pointing when he left. And then Parker Burt just recently gripping his elbow as he walked off the field after an awkward slide into first. Down on strikes is Luis Garcia. He swings through a pitch at the bottom of the zone. It's stretch time here at Remax Field. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on the base pads. We'll join you back after the stretch. Bottom of the 7th, Edmonton leads by 3. Bottom of the 7th inning is upon us here at Remax Field. Pippins wrapping up a 6-game road trip. First in Richfield, where they lost 2 of 3. And now here in Edmonton, where the series is tied. And a rubber match to determine the series only has about 15 outs to get. 8th and 9th innings are upon us after this one, as the Riverhawks will send up 3, 4, and 5 in their order, starting with Finnegan Stewart, followed by Easton Andrews and Katara Wakui. John Witt still in the game. He will likely try to finish this one and then turn it back over to a new arm. You don't want to burn John out too much, just in case you need him during the Bend series. He's stretching his arm out for the first time since June 7th, though, so it probably won't hurt to have him throw an extra inning. Finnegan Stewart, first pitch he sees, he swings it out towards shallow center field. Backing up Valenzuela, the second baseman, he puts it away. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th. Easton Andrews will dig in. Andrews from Fort Worth, Texas, attending University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Andrews was the one that was immediately calling for medical assistance on the Parker Burt slide back into first. First pitch, strike right at the knees, 0-1. So the reason that the Riverhawks are playing 4 games against the Apple Sox is because they had a rainout during the opening weekend on Sunday. 0-1, outside 1-1. So the first game on Tuesday for these two teams will be like normal, Edmonton at Wenatchee, and then game 1 of the doubleheader starting at 4:30 Mountain Time, 3:30 Pacific Time, will be actually Wenatchee hitting first at their home ballpark. Breaking ball down and in, 2-1, it says on the scoreboard. I believe it's 2-0. Foul ball back to the screen. Scoreboard says 2-2, waiting to see what MJ Willis says. It is 2-2. I must have missed a pitch. So the middle day of that series, the Wednesday, will be Wenatchee at Edmonton in Wenatchee, and then a normal game to follow. 2-2, breaking ball outside, runs the count full. Just past 4 o'clock here in Edmonton. This game dragging a little bit. Last night was a 2-hour, 53-minute contest. The night before, a 3-hour, 24-minute contest. 3-2, popped up foul, out of play. We'll do it again with a full count. Pippins have a flight to catch later on this evening, hoping that they can score a couple of runs when they get back on offense in the 8th. Payoff. Andrews back where it came from up the middle, but shifted his Hubka behind the bag. He throws on to first. 2 away here in the 7th. That'll bring up Katara Wakui. Wakui 1 for 2. Single, fly out, sack, bunt. Ball boys exchange a bat that was tossed over on the first base side. And now Wakui digs into the left-hand batter's box. Wakui more of an all-fields hitter as the Pippins shift back to normal alignment. First pitch inside on the black, called strike. Yakima Valley will have 7, 8, and 9 due up in the 8th inning. Ramos, Valenzuela, and Hubka. Need a big inning from the Pips. They have 6 outs to play with. 0-1, corked out towards right field. Garcia ranges over. He has it, and that retires the side. 7 innings in the books here in Remax Field. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on the base paths for the Riverhawks. To the 8th we go. Pippins need a couple of runs. They trail by 3 here in Edmonton. Top of the 8th inning here in Edmonton. Pippins' 6-game road trip, 3-game stint up here in Canada, slowly coming to a close. Yakima Valley has 7, 8, and 9 due up here in the 8th as they trail by 3, 6-3 here at Remax Field. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins. Alberta Ramos looks to get it started. Pippins have scored in 2 innings. It was the 4th and the 5th. They scored 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Looking for another long outing on offense for the Pips. Combs is still out there for his 3rd inning of work. Owen Combs fires the first pitch downstairs, ball 1 to Abel Ramos. Ramos today 1 for 3, a single and 2 flyouts to center field. Ground ball foul past Coach Krusty in the third base coaching box, 1-1. Pippins so far on the road trip 2-3, trying to even it up. Ramos stings one to center field. Veach backs up 2 steps, but he has it. 1 away here in the 8th inning. 3rd flyout to center field for Ramos. Ramon Valenzuela digging in for his 4th hacks rather. 3rd official hacks because he drew a walk back in the 4th. Flew out to right, grounded out to second. First pitch swinging a high fly ball to center field. Veach will have to come in because the wind blowing at his back. 2 away here in the 8th. Back-to-back flyouts to center. Pippin's bats have been hot and cold on the road this year. You've got games like Ridgefield Game 3, scoring 13 runs on 16 hits. You've got games like last night with 10 runs on 11 hits and 15 men left. And then you've got games like today and the first 2 in Ridgefield, struggling to find the scoring column. First pitch upstairs to Cole Hubka, ball 1. Pippin's just looking for some consistency offensively when they're on the road. 1-0, Hubka sends it straight back, 1-1. Pippins will be back home for 3 games starting on Tuesday against the Bend Elks, and then right back on the road down to Salem, Oregon to take on the Marion Berries for the 2nd time this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Combs sends it down and away, 2-1. Hubka, 2 for 3. Couple of singles. Clouds providing some relief to the sun here at Remax Field. 2-1. Hubka foul past Coach Krusty again. 2-2. Pippins down to their final strike here in the 8th. In the 9th, for the Riverhawks, they'll have 6, 7, and 8 to try to extend their lead. 2-2. Hubka stings it off the end of the bat. Stopped by Kreisel at short, but he's not going to have a play as he picks it up off the turf. With how hard hit that was, we'll see what the ruling is. It is an error. So E6 charged to Kreisel. Hubka on for the 3rd time today, down in the number 9 spot. Top of the order comes back up to hit for the Pippins. Miller today, 1 for 4. A single, 2 groundouts, and a strikeout looking. First pitch from Combs is sent straight back. 0-1. Ball boys. Now one goes and gets one. Pippin's tying run is in the on-deck circle as it's been for the last couple of innings. Combs comes set at the belt. The 0-1. Pitch upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. You'd love to find some 2-out magic here and get it at least back within a pair. Going to need a little bit of magic, though. Tyson fouls it straight back. Stung it off his bottom hand, too. Shakes out his right hand. Not a very comfortable swing for Tyson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hubka's over at first. The pitch inside to Tyson, 2-2. Combs set. Here's the 2-2. It's downstairs, ball 3. Tyson could reach, then Daichi Furuhata would get another chance here in the 8th inning to extend his hitting streak. So far, 0 for 3, got on with a walk. Payoff pitch, runner goes. Tyson fouls it off over towards the Riverhawks dugout. Hubka was running with the 3-2 count and 2 outs. Riverhawks continue a tough stretch in their schedule. They sit at 5-8 right now. They have 4 games against the Wenatchee Apple Sox at the top of their division. Payoff pitch, Tyson takes ball 4. 2 on, 2 out here in the 8th for Yakima Valley. So the Riverhawks have 4 games down in Wenatchee, and then they have 3 games over the weekend against the Corvallis Knights. So they go all the way from Wenatchee down to Corvallis for a 7-game road trip. Tell you what, that's a tough ask. 6 games is plenty as there's a meeting on the mound. But 4 games against the leader in your division for the 2nd series, mind you. This is the last time they'll see Wenatchee, barring playoffs. And then a trip down to Goss Stadium to play the Corvallis Knights, who currently sit in 2nd place in the WCL South. Here's Daichi Furuhata. Daichi going to try to extend his hit streak. Hubka at 2nd, Miller at 1st. Daichi swings on the first pitch and sends it foul down the right field line. 0-1. Daichi just looked off at the plate so far today. Fly out, pop out, ground out, and walk. As Combs steps off, uses his first disengagement. Now he comes set after clearing his head. 0-1, Daichi fouls it off of his body, and he's down in the count 0-2. He went chasing that pitch upstairs by a little bit. It's going to be a long trip back home, but I can tell you what, these Pippins will really enjoy the Monday off day upcoming tomorrow. 0-2. Daichi on the ground very slowly out toward short. Chrysler going to flip it to second, and they will retire the side. Pippins leave runners on the corners. They get no runs on no hits. One error by the Riverhawks. Last chance for the Riverhawks to extend their lead. They lead it 6-3 here at Remax Field. The winds have shifted here at Remax Field, now violently blowing in from right as a little bit of weather tries to move in from the west. John Witt out there for his third inning of work. A chance to continue to stretch the arm out. 24 pitches for John. Pippin's trying to hang one more zero, and then they'll need at least 3 runs in the top of the ninth to keep this game alive. Matt Van Slyke, Jason Green, and Shiryu Sato are the scheduled hitters against John Witt here in the 8th. The big difference in this game is the 6th inning for the Riverhawks. All 6 runs coming in that frame where they sent 11 to the dish. First pitch, John Witt misses inside, 1-0. Witt again working for the first time since the 7th. Fires in a fastball at the top of the zone, 1-1. There's a chance of a thunderstorm that could pop up around the 5 o'clock hour. Very low risk, but could happen. 1-1, high and away, 2-1. Must be moving in more from the north because the skies where the ballpark sits look relatively calm despite being cloudy. Two and one, John Witt misses down and away, 3 balls and a strike. A couple bodies stretching for the Pippins down in the bullpen. 3-1. Misses down and away, ball 4. Van Slyke has walked for the second time today. The first time he did so, he scored back in the 4th. Wyatt Robinson down there in the bullpen with the Pippins, as are a couple other bodies. Here comes Jason Green. He hits for the 4th time today. A lot lower volume of runs tonight than there were the last 2 nights combined. Runner takes off, delayed steal. Ramos fires down there, but it is way late. It was a wave and a miss at the plate for strike 1 to Green, but a stolen base by Matt Van Slyke as the Riverhawks try to expand their lead. just as warm in Vancouver when the Pippins will get in late tonight. Vancouver International Airport. 0-1. Hard liner out towards right. It's going to get down in front of Garcia. Stop sign thrown up at third. Runners are at the corners with nobody out for the Riverhawks. Coach Salsa going to head down to the bullpen and tell a couple guys to get warmed up. John Witt nearing the end of his outing as he faces Shiryu Sato. The runner at third is Van Slyke. The runner at first is Green. Pitch misses down and away, ball one. Witt losing the strike zone a little bit here in the eighth. John came in after Eric Anthony left with an apparent arm injury. He was pointing to his right arm, his pitching arm, and had trainers look at it. 1-0, strike, outer half. Ramos looking back the runners. Van Slyke was playing a game of cat and mouse with Ramos, just standing on the foul line. 1-1, down and away with a breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. Looks like Robinson's the one that's grabbed a baseball in the Pippins bullpen. 2-1, strike, outer half, 2-2. Sato didn't agree. Shakes his head in the batter's box. Count is 2-2. Pips looking for the first out here in the bottom of the eighth. Runners at the corners. Riverhawks lead by 3. Fastball yanked outside, glove side. 3-2 the count, nobody out. Trying to avoid a dangerous start to this 8th inning. Pips cannot afford to allow another run. 3-2. Ball 4, the bases are now loaded. Green moves up to second. Sato takes his place at first. The infield is going to be forced to play in. We'll see if Hubka and Valenzuela play back. Looks like they will. Trying to get a double play. Coach Salsa going to head out to the mound and have a chat with John Witt. Maybe trying to buy some time for Robinson and company to get hot down in the bullpen. You're facing number 9 hitter Cale Clark, and then the top of the order comes up next. Going to be a tough situation to get out of for Pippins pitching. A couple of arms standing down in the Riverhawks bullpen. Meeting over. Witt facing Cale Clark. Riverhawk at every base. Corner infield plays in. Ground ball foul past first base. 0-1. Witt gets ahead. And now time going to be called as Robinson loses a baseball from the bullpen. It goes all the way onto the warning track in right field. Cole Snido, the backup catcher, not in the game today, doing the catching of the bullpen. No balls and a strike. Witt ahead in the count. Fastball on the ground out towards first. Velasquez sends it on to second for one. Nobody's covering the bag. A run's going to score. Riverhawks add some insurance. It's now 7-3. Score 3-6 the putout out at second base. That's the first out of the inning. Van Slyke scores. Green up to third. Occupying first base now, Cale Clark as Drew Veach, the top of the order, bat for a fifth time. So now the mountain to climb is 4 for the Pippins in the top of the ninth. First pitch, way in front. Veach swings through it. Strike one. Again, for Edmonton, they'll have a 4-game series down in Wenatchee starting on Tuesday, a doubleheader on Wednesday. And then they'll play 3 games down in Corvallis to play the Corvallis Knights, always a powerhouse. Line drive into right field. This is going to get down. Easily coming home to score will be Green. Going from first to third will be Clark. The ball gets away on the throw into second. Moving up to second base is Drew Veach. RBI single for the center fielder. Riverhawks extend the lead 8-3. Call it an error that gets Veach up to second. Green the only runner that scores. Coach Crustangel out of the dugout. John Witt's day is done. We'll have a new arm for the Pippins when we come back. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Riverhawks lead at 8-3. Still threatening here at Remax Field. Welcome back to Edmonton. Wyatt Robinson, the new pitcher for the Pippins. He's played in 2 games so far. Last action was down in Ridgefield on June 11th, where they went an inning, giving up no runs on no hits. Second and third is the situation. There's only 1 out for Cole Kreisel. First pitch from Wyatt is a heater upstairs. Check down to third. He went, says Brandon Strokey. 0-1. Kreisel today, 1 for 3. Single, ground out, strikeout. Drew a walk back in the 4th and scored the Riverhawks' first run. Upstairs again, 1-1. Wyatt's going to sit 90-92 on the radar gun. And if he's going to be in the zone, he is almost unhittable. Works out of the full windup here with runners at second and third. Scratch that. It's more of a exaggerated stretch. He starts square and then coils back up. Pitch upstairs. 2-1. The zone today has been a little bit tight. And then at times it expands off to the away side of the hitters. Two-one pitch. Heater inside. Robinson asks where it was. 3 balls and a strike. That's been the story today. A lot of 3-ball counts. Robinson rocks and fires. 3-1, nearly hit Cole Kreisel. So the bags are loaded. Wyatt walks the first hitter he sees, and here comes Finnegan Stewart. Pippins in the top half of the ninth will have 3, 4, and 5 in the order. Velasquez, Hurtado, and O'Neill. Remember, Parker Burt exited this game after an awkward slide back into first base on a pickoff back in the 7th inning. Robinson's first pitch swung on and missed by Finnegan Stewart. 0-1. A Riverhawk at every base again. The 0-1 pitch. Sent foul back towards us in the press box. It's over the canopy 0-2. Tarps are off again here at Remax Field. Riverhawks feeling good, up 8-3. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Fastball called strike 3 on the outer black. Stewart sits down on strikes. There's 2 away here in the 8th. Easton Andrews, the last chance to extend the lead by any more. Riverhawks have had different righties warming up in the bullpen for this entire inning. Back when it was a 3-run game, now that guy's sat down, and appears we have a different pitcher warming up that will likely come in to face the Pippins in the 9th. Andrews 1 for 4 today. A single and a run scored. He takes a fastball upstairs. 4-1. Andrews been able to add on to his RBI total with 1 today. Came into the day leading the league with 20. 1-0, that got him. Got him on the elbow, and another run's going to score. Robinson a little bit wild with a fastball. Cale Clark trots home. Bag still loaded. It's Kataro Wakui, the 9th batter to hit for the Riverhawks here in the 8th. Wakui today is 1 for 3, single fly out to both left and right. 9-3 the score. First pitch, a strike at the top of the zone to Wakui. Been a tough road trip for the Pippins. Won the last game of the Ridgefield series. Won the game yesterday here in Edmonton. 0-1, half swing, but it was called a strike anyway by MJ Willis, and the Riverhawks down to their final strike. Pippins will need 6 runs to tie, 7 to take the lead in the top of the 9th. We've seen a 6 and a 7-run inning in this series, both of them unfortunately off the bats of the Riverhawks. No balls and 2 strikes. With 2 outs, the pitch. Fouled over past Jake Lamferman in the third base coaching box. Wakui stays alive. At third base is Veach, second base Kreisel, first base Andrews. It's no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Wakui standing in that left-hand box. Here comes Wyatt's 0-2. Popped up out towards short. This is going to drop. Hubka has to put it in his pocket. Wakui with another infield single and an RBI makes it 10-3 Riverhawks. Nothing that Cole could do about that. It was jammed so bad that it dropped before he got there. Wakui flying up the first base line. Riverhawks bat around here in the 8th. Matt Van Slyke, who drew a walk to start this frame, will hit again, this time with the bases loaded. First pitch, left upstairs, ball 1. Man, has this game slowed down. Flew through the first 3 innings and then a lot of scoring in the 4th and 5th. A lot of confusion in the 6th and the 7th. 1-1 now is the pitch over the heart of the plate. Couple of injuries as well to deal with. And then the Riverhawks putting up another big number here in the 8th inning. One ball and 1 strike. Time called. What happened here? Another ball got away from the Pippins bullpen, it looked like. Bass Fry tossing in case his services are needed. 1-1 fouled into the screen over by the Pippins dugout, and the Riverhawks down to their final strike again. Ten to 3 the score. Riverhawks definitely adding some insurance here in the 8th. Pitch is lined out into right field, and the inning continues. Another run scores. They're going to send another one to the plate. The ball is dropped by Ramos. Big collision up at the dish with Easton Andrews. He is down in a hump. Ramos standing over there by Andrews. Some words being had. Andrews is barking at MJ Willis, and now the sides are going to come together. The bench is empty here in an 11-3 game. Actually, it's 12 because Andrews scores. I think Andrews' biggest concern is with MJ Willis not potentially calling an interference. Pippins dugout getting back to their side. We've still got an out left to play. Tensions are hot here as Easton Andrews still down at the dish. They're checking out his right knee. Umpiring crew trying to figure out what to do here. Ramos didn't have the ball. Andrews will limp off the field. So what do we do here? We still have one more out to play, I believe, because the ball was dropped by Ramos. It's 11-3. They clear the side. Did MJ Willis call him out? Looks like the dugouts are going to stay on their side. Riverhawks indignant that the inning should still be going. I don't know what else to say, folks. This umpiring crew that's been pretty good all weekend suddenly running into some struggles here in this 3rd game. They break apart. Now, Brennan Strokey going to go have a chat over at The third base line with Jake Lamferman, now joined by MJ Willis. So far, 5 runs have crossed the plate here in the 8th inning. Ramos with a big collision out there at home plate with Easton Andrews, who took exception to it. Some words were said, I think more so at home plate umpire MJ Willis than they were at Ramos, but the benches started to clear. We just need about 4 more outs to get this game over with. Pippin's going to catch a flight back to Vancouver as we inch closer to the 5 o'clock hour. We started at 1:13. Not exactly the definition of a getaway day game. Pippins have their bats in the on-deck circle. MJ Willis explaining what she saw. Jake Lamferman trying to argue for his side. And it looks like the defense for the Riverhawks is going to come out onto the field. Okay. So the inning comes to a close. I don't even know what happened. It was a single out into right field by Van Slyke. That brought a run home. But then there was an out somewhere on the base pads, likely at home, and the Pippins bats will come up to hit. New first baseman in the game as Andrews leaves the contest limping. It's Braden Scott over there. I'm going to have to wait to see what the official ruling says because I believe in my line of sight there was a ball still on the turf. Again, I hate to say it because it's my team, but let's see the plays, the previous play-by-play and the official box score. We're learning this as we go, I guess. Well, I would go to it if the website would load. There's a third out on the base paths. It is likely Easton Andrews who is trying to score. Cole Kreisel did come home to score, and so it was 5 runs on 5 hits, or 4 hits rather. First pitch here in the top of the 9th inning comes into Nick Velasquez. We didn't even take a break. I apologize. This is a new pitcher in for the Riverhawks. He wears number 26, and he's ahead in the count, I believe. Nope, 1-1, they say. Man, a little more organization would be great. It's 11-3. Velasquez on the ground, stopped at first by the new first baseman, Scott. He flips on to the pitcher after touching the bag. 1 away as Velasquez is down on the ground out. Zach Foden is the pitcher. Foden wearing 26. He's got 1 out already here in the 9th. Pippins down 11-3. What a hectic ending to this game. My scorebook's going to look disgusting after this. First pitch to Derek Hurtado, who came in as a runner for Parker Burt back in the 7th inning. Parker exited the game with an apparent injury. 1-0. There's a strike. 1-1. Hurtado got a pinch hit appearance in the last couple of games, pinch hitting for Tyson Miller, drawing a hit by pitch and scoring a run last night. He also pinch hit for Luis Garcia back on Friday night and popped out to the shortstop, taking a pitch upstairs, 2-1. Scoreboard incorrectly says 2-0. Next offering upstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike, I believe. Yes. MJ Willis relays on the information. Pippins trying to find a base runner here in the ninth. Hurtado going to serve one over the head of Van Slyke at third for a pinch hit single. Derek with a wide turnaround first, but he will stop. Derek Hurtado, pinch hit single. A little bit of positivity here at the end of the ball game for the Pips. So the official scoring of that play as it reads in our scoring software. A single to right field for Van Slyke. Wakui advances to second. And then Cole Kreisel scored. Easton Andrews was out at home, 9-2 as the pitch gets all the way to the backstop to Jay O'Neill. Hurtado moves up 90 feet. And so it's officially 5 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error. And there was 2 left on base. There's a strike, 1-1. The error was on Luis Garcia earlier in the inning. But Andrews was the one out at the plate. 1-1 on the ground out towards second. Up with it, Sato on to first for out number 2. The Pippins down to their final out. Advancing to third is Hurtado. Luis Garcia, last hope for the Pips. He's 1 for 3 today. Single and a run scored. An otherwise positive Canadian trip being marred by some interesting happenings here at the end of the ball game. Garcia on the ground, slowly out towards second and short. They collide. Kreisel and Sato down. Sato got the worst of it. It's an infield single for Luis Garcia. Derek Hurtado scores. Everybody's getting hurt here on a Sunday. Sato pops up out there at second. They were indecisive who wanted it. Kreisel and Sato both charged toward that ball. So the Pippins stay alive. They score to make it 11-4. Even though the scoreboard, again, incorrectly, hasn't added the run. There's a strike off rip to Abel Ramos. At least our scoring software has it right. Ramos takes one upstairs, 1-1 the count. Again, a very overall positive trip up here north of the border, being marred by some late inning mishaps. Ramos dealing with maybe a bug that flew in his eye. 1-1. Garcia at first. Abel pops it up, but this is going to get foul into the seats. Bounces off the concrete and around, down, and finally picked up by a fan. Pippins down to their final strike. A little bit of a sour taste in the mouth right now. The 1-2 pitch. Ramos pops it up over in foul territory on the third base side. Van Slyke in front of his dugout makes the catch on the warning track, and that's the ball game. We wrap this one up at 4:49 p.m. Final score, the Riverhawks 11, Yakima Valley 4. Edmonton wins a home series. The Pippins travel quite a distance to get up here to Edmonton, and they fall their second straight series. 2-4 on the road trip. The win will go to Nance, who came out of the pen despite giving up a run. His team gave him the lead. The loss will be charged to Burgess, who gave up 5 runs in his 3 1/3 innings. There is no save, as the final score was 11-4. 10 hits apiece, 2 errors apiece. The score, the only discrepancy on the board. Pippin's got to catch a flight. We're going to sign off the air. I'm Harmon Johnsen saying stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. We'll talk to you Tuesday when the Bend Elks come to town to host or the Pippins host the Bend Elks. It's Scott T's birthday party. More information, pippinsbaseball.com. Pippins fall 11-4. They drop the series. They drop the road trip 2-4. We'll talk to you on Tuesday, everybody.